DIY.
DIYers, welcome in. Welcome in. Thank you so much for choosing to be here. Make sure that you hit the like button on the way in here. I am joined here by a special guest. But before we get into that, I want to make sure that you hit that like button. So, here's how this is going to go. I'm going to have this conversation with the legendary Bad Lucc, now goes by Good Lucc. We're going to have a casual conversation about a few different things, and I'm going to leave some space open for you to do a Q&A. But all in all, please, round of applause. My guy is here.
Oh, man.
Come on, man. Come on with it. Let me just say this first. Let me go ahead and get this music down here. Let me just say I'm honored, first of all, to finally have you here. We have been talking, we've been talking a lot more lately, I guess,
sure.
More than anything else, as, I think we met at different stages at different times. Before I get into all that, though, first of all, how you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm blessed, and I do want to say it's an honor for me as well. Thank you for having me. I've always respected what you do musically and in the creative space. So to be here with you at this time is an honor, man. I do appreciate it.
Man, thank you. Yeah, look. First of all, I told you the story too. Back when I was living in Carson, California, my first time hearing about Bad Lucc, I had a homie of mine that was affiliated. I didn't know he was affiliated, but he just started saying a bunch of numbers and songs one time, and I started asking questions. Me being a civilian, I'm asking questions, and he shows me a music video. He like, "Hey, you ever heard of Bad Lucc?" I was like, "Nah, who's that?" He's like, "Hey, this nigga hard." And I can't remember what video he showed me, but like the excitement in his face, he was like, I'm like, "Can I hear him?" Because he was rapping what you was saying so loud. And this is probably really, really early. I don't even know what years it is. This is early on for sure. While I'm still living in Carson, probably like mid 2000s, early 2000s, between 2000 and 2010. And I'm introduced to you first as an artist. Throughout the years, I see your level of artistry, man, take you to so many different places. I know a lot of you may recognize his voice, especially the more that you hear him from the Like What verse on there. I know a lot of y'all, especially as of late, will recognize this name Bad Lucc, even though he changed to Good Lucc. We're gonna talk about that as well. From the announcement that was made, or the shout out, I should say, that was made at a Grammy Award, man. What's
Oh yeah.
light work? Hi, Pop.
Hi.
Hi. So first, before we get into all that, give the people a little bit of an idea about who Bad Lucc is. Usually I can go through my chat GPT.
For sure.
But as I'm sitting here with you, you were like, they missing a lot of part of that story. So who is Bad Lucc?
Born in Inglewood, raised in Watts. I did music for a long time. I was a writer, rapper, artist. I started out early with early as far as like, I met my man Problem, like, man, it was early 2000s.
Yeah.
And I didn't know anything about the internet. Like, what I mean by that was like how to interact as an MC on the internet. Mm-hmm. So I would, so Problem showed me these two sites for us on the West Coast was major, West Coast Riders and Dub CNN.
Man.
And Problem would be in the forums, posting songs, talking back and forth with other rappers and MCs.
Right.
So for me, I was an MC who couldn't find MCs. What I meant by that was I went to school with them.
Yeah.
But outside of school, once I was out of school, I just couldn't find a lot of MCs around. It wasn't like they were just all over the place. And,
right.
I found out they were. I just didn't know them. And so on the internet was where I found all these super dope MCs. Mm-hmm. It's where I found what I call my class of when I was coming up, my class of MCs, where I found my Maestros and my Glasses Malones and Problems,
right,
and all these ill dudes who were just a breath of fresh air for me.
Right.
You know what I mean? And for me, it opened up my world as far as like, yo, there's a community here and I want to be a part of it. And my whole goal at the time was just being dope. It wasn't about making songs. It wasn't about having hit records. It wasn't about none of that. It was just like, yo, who got bars and who want to do something at that point.
At this time, what year?
At this time.
Around what year we talking?
This had to be around 20, maybe 2003, 4, 2000, early 2001, 2.
Right.
In them, because I left high school in 1998. I was out of high school a couple of years before I started doing internet stuff on music.
Right.
So around 2000, maybe 2002, 3, and it was somewhere in the early 2000s. Because after that, I'm jumping. I don't want to jump
you
too
good.
far.
No, you good. You good.
But yeah, I just started rapping, hang out. I met these guys from high school. I met the guy named Kool-Aid, who was one of my good friends to this day.
Right.
And Kool-Aid took me to his studio. This would be my first studio I ever went to. Mm-hmm. And I met a producer by the name of Rick Rude, and his family became like a second family for me.
Right.
And in that studio, I met so many people. Rappers would come by. I didn't know his studio was a popular studio at the time. And so many rappers came through, and so many producers came through. That's where I kind of, cut your teeth in those spaces. I started building up a name by being an MC that would be there, and people thought was one of one of the dope ones.
Right. Right.
And I was new to them. Because I didn't have tapes in the street and nothing like that. I was just a dude that was always at the studio and ready to rap whenever anybody wanted to rap.
Right.
You know what I mean?
No, I heard stories. You being real humble. I know you easing your way into it, yeah. But I didn't heard stories of Lucc standing on top of cars and who wanted who.
Yeah, it was a different time. It was different time back then. It was different time,
So what I'm interested because I do want to get to this clip just because I want to give some people some context, but
yeah.
In this time, we're talking about 2003.
Yeah.
There's a lot of artists that I think people now associate with lyricism, but the West Coast, I don't think is always, at least in my experience, been associated with high level lyricism. Coming in that period at that time, was that something that you were kind of aware of, or something that you were kind of trying to make sure that you were at the forefront of? Let's establish that as something as a part of what we do, aside from the West Coast culture.
For me, it wasn't about. So that would be too in the thick of it to be thinking that kind of way, right?
Okay.
I wasn't that far in it. What I mean by that is that I just wanted to be the best on whatever level I'm kind of experiencing at this moment. Yeah. I just wanted to be that. For me, it wasn't about trying to put a stamp on West Coast culture.
It was just in
I'm
general.
a West Coast dude, period. So wherever I go, I represent that.
Yeah.
But I didn't put it on my back like I wasn't consciously doing that.
Right.
I was just it was who I am.
Who was you considering the best at that time?
To do that?
Yeah.
In my class?
Well, not even in your class.
Oh,
just in general of because I'm sure in your class it's competitive. Who was your
Corrupt? Razzcast Corrupt.
Oh man. Yeah.
Razzcast is one of the guys who not taught me directly,
right,
but taught me that, oh, wait a minute, this ain't just an East Coast thing to be lyrically superior.
Facts.
Because it was marketed as that's an East Coast thing, right? But I remember hearing like an old Jay-Z interview when they talk about who's the dopest out in Jay-Z, like, yo, Razzcast. Like, why y'all, I know y'all think Kaz is
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like when I heard, we're hearing, Solo Nice and all that, like Kaz was the guy, the dude. And then hearing a Corrupt. So Corrupt reminded me of like, he was split down the middle of like West Coast gangster, East Coast, that kind of bite. You know what I mean?
That precision.
That East Coast.
Yeah,
it was a skill thing with that. It was right down the middle though.
Right.
So for them too, I was like, oh yeah. I'm good. Like I'm coming behind these cats. You know what I mean? It was never a competition with them.
Right.
I never looked at my elder statesmen as competition. Never at no disrespectful level ever have I ever looked at anybody that was older than me as competition of food. Never.
But those in your class?
In my class, everybody's food.
It's barbecue.
Yeah, everybody's food. Everybody. But at the time though, talking to these cats, right? That's what it was for them too. Like if you talk to Maestro, me and Maestro would talk. That's one of my good friends. Me and Maestro would talk all the time.
Yeah.
Maestro, everybody was food. Me, I'm food to him.
Yeah.
Everybody food. You know, that's why the respect level was there.
Right.
Because me and Maestro, we were so so hell bent on lyricism being first.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And we carried that in a sense.
Where do you learn that skill from? Like, I mean, I know my thing is, I know everybody has their own. I talk to Daylight about this sometimes. Like, everybody has their own route towards, first of all, identifying what lyricism means to them, and then also too, like seeing the skill set of somebody like a Ghostface Killer and saying, okay, this part of what he does is something I'm going to study. Like, what's kind of that process for you developing your skill set?
Well, I was a writer before I wrote my first rap in 1985.
Oh, word.
I was a writer. I was writing poetry since 4th grade. So I was already in writing rhymes from the beginning of my life anyway. Right. So I always put words first and the way you use words first. So when I adjusted and moved on to rap, it was an easy adjustment. And the priority was still there. What are you saying? You know what I mean? And what kind of skill level are you using when you're saying these words, when you're using these similes and metaphors?
Right.
You know what I mean? So it was easy for me to apply because I'm also looking at cats like Razcast, cats like Maestro, cats like Corrupt, and my East Coast, and for some of my biggest influences and my older OGs, and under that too was Ice Cube, because Ice Cube represented who I thought was me more so. And what I mean by that was I didn't gangbang.
Right.
Ice Cube didn't gangbang. I didn't get in all the stuff. I didn't pick a side. There was no, I'm not a Crip or I'm not a Blood. That's why Cube wore black most of the time. And he was born in these areas around all these things. I'm pretty he's done a bunch of stuff.
Right.
But he didn't side with anything. And he was what I look at like a reporter for everything he saw, and he can explain it in the more skillful way than everybody around. That's why he was such a great writer.
Yeah.
I kind of adjusted. I mean, I kind of like related to that.
Right.
Who Q was, one of the greatest storytellers of our time.
He was. Still is, even through film. He's still doing that.
But my style developed.
Yeah.
So listening to that, watching that, and then Benny Siegel was introduced. So I patterned my style directly from Ice Cube and Benny Siegel.
That's a crazy combination, man. And it's so dope to see. You know, even with all the he's going through a lot of different transformations with his voice. I don't know if you peeped some of the stuff that he's doing with utilizing AI.
Fire.
Able to like in that type of use,
which is a great way to use it. Because I'm still on the middle fence about AI. You know, I'm a photographer, so I'm also like, I'm not going to be doing tricky stuff with my pictures, but at the same time, I understand when it comes to editing how useful it can be. But when it comes to someone like has a situation with his voice, like the DOC or like Benny Siegel, that could be they're still writers.
Right.
So the skill is there, and it is them.
Yeah.
So if you could just take an AI and attach it to the voice that is actually theirs before an incident happened, it's fair game.
Man.
And I heard some songs that Benny did with the AI on it, and I'm like, oh, that's what I love right there.
Even just seeing the excitement on his face, like I didn't think that I'd be able to sound like this again, and this is updated. My pen ain't
it's
going
heartwarming.
nowhere.
And sorry about that. It's heartwarming, and I'm definitely a fan, and I would love to hear what DOC sound like in 2025.
That's what I'm saying. Because I'm sure throughout all these years, like I know as a writer, you don't ever stop writing. Even when you stop writing, you have when you sign up for this, I feel like you've chosen to view things in a different way. Same thing as if you're a videographer, right? You can't ever look at a scene and not think about, well, that's a weird camera angle. That's weird positioning. That's weird framing. The color is, you can't turn that off.
100%. I do it all the time. Whether it's jokes, whether it's captions for like posts, I'm always writing in a certain way where you can tell it's not. I'm not trying to be just a basic. You know what I mean? It's all kind of skill that you I'm adding to it. So with rhyme, it's just like I'm adding rhyme to my writing skills. You know, same thing.
All right, so I want to get into this clip because we got a lot of things we want to talk about. This is long overdue, man, and like I said, I'm hyped to have you here. Shout out to all my moderators that are holding it down. Definitely, you know, y'all. I appreciate y'all because y'all are over there sniping any and everything. We know we're gonna have a whole lot of new energy in here. With that said, thank you so much for holding it down. So here I want to check out a clip. And I don't know if you want to grab the headphones just so you can kind of hear what we're hearing. But this is something that just happened recently. And when I heard it, you was one of the first people that I reached out to because I was like, oh, man. Oh man, I can only imagine what your phone was doing around this time and whatever the case may be. But for those who don't know, Kendrick obviously, I mean, he already went up there and he won them 5 Grammys for Not Like Us. First of all, round of applause, West Coast applause for that. Insane. In the midst of him going back and forth for more awards, I think on Song of the Year, he made an announcement where he mentioned some of the folks that inspired him. I want to take this clip. I'm hoping that, the Grammy don't put me back on punishment for playing this, but they're going to have to just deal with it. Oh, well. Listen to this clip really quick, ladies and gentlemen. So, good luck today, but bad luck is who got shot out in this one. What's going on through your mind as are you watching it as this is happening?
No, I wasn't watching it. I typically don't watch the Grammys. It's not,
Yeah.
But and I didn't think he would be there. I don't know. I don't know why I didn't think he would be there. I had saw clips of the first awards, and I know Mustard had accepted them. So in my mind, I'm like, oh yeah, of course he's not going to go to the Grammys, because that would be the only reason I watch the Grammys is for that. So I'm not watching. I'm at home watching TV, and then my phone just started blowing up. Phone calls and texts all at the same time.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's going on? I'm seeing all these texts coming through, and my phone going off, and I'm like, what's happening? So the first person who I actually answered, I see the text from my man Dirty Joe. Shout out to Dirty Joe. Dirty Joe, my good Inglewood partner. He said, man, how I feel being on the Grammys. And I'm like, wait, what? To me,
that's a hell of a text to send somebody. What you mean?
I'm like, wait, what?
I ain't at the
and he
Grammys.
was like, he said, dog, he said, you not watching the Grammys? Kendrick Lamar. He said, Kendrick just shouted you out on the Grammys.
Wow.
I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And then, so as I'm like opening my messages, I'm seeing everybody saying congrats and, all these stuff. Bad luck, that was dope, and Kendrick shouted you out. And I'm like, what? I'm still like, kind of like that shock and kind of like, yeah, man, look, I'm going to say this. Look, so Dot, let me say this. Look, it was, I was floored by it, right? Here's the reason why. Dot is a good friend of mine. Like, he's a good friend of most of us who came up in these classes of MCs. Right? He's always been a very super dope, humble, and incredible dude, right? And ridiculously talented. I was in a class above him, but we all came up the same time, around the same time. For him to be on the biggest stage of music, receiving the biggest award you can receive for your song in music, period. Being from Compton, California, and he chose to share that stage and that moment, which is one of the biggest moments in his career,
right?
With cats like myself, Glasses, Stro, and K-Boy, and you know what I mean? Like,
that means something, man.
And then to say that we inspired him, you know what I mean? And he never told me that directly.
Really?
Well, because he always told me I was dope, and we talk like he always told me I was dope, and Luck, you one of the ones,
right?
But you just never hear it directly sometime. And what I'm saying is that you just never know how you impact somebody in certain kind of ways. You just doing your thing, right? It's like you as a producer, you as a rapper, and then some youngin come up under you. Not up under you directly tied to you, but just like saying,
inspired by
yo, you don't know how much your production helped me to do whatever. You know what I mean? So for him to share that, it didn't cost him nothing to do that. It didn't cost him nothing. He didn't name 4 or 5 famous dudes. He didn't name the rappers or the names that you would know. You had to be from the house to know these names.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying?
That's when I was sitting there. I was listening to them naming them, and I was like, at first, I'm like, yeah, of course. And then another part of me is like, wait a minute, he's doing this the Grammy stage right here.
Yeah.
Because if you hear him say these names, you know how, like, I think that sometimes we may take for granted, and I don't want to speak this for you because we were talking about this earlier. We may take for granted the degrees of separation that so many names are. Yeah. Aside from those being friends, like just the vicinity that if you live in the city, and when I was living in Carson, the TDE studio wasn't but 5 or 10 minutes away from me. Absol lived on the other side of Carson, and all these different folks were right there. Yeah. And then as I started to kind of, make my way as a producer, and then I meet you and I meet Problem, and it's like, I got stories of recording J-Rock at the Diamond Lane studio, and I'm like, when is that ever a regular thing? I'm not an engineer.
and for most of us, that's how it was. It was that. So that these were the beginning stages of some incredible, super dope human beings,
Right.
being great. Like, you know what I mean? And we were just homies. Like recording at Top Studio in Carson, right? Recording there, and all of them being the homies, we just all just want to rap. Now, Top is obviously thinking business because he's a genius, but we all just like, yo, we trying to be dope and let's rap. What y'all want to rap on?
Right.
Who got beats? Who got the beats? Who got the whatever? And we just want to be dope. So to watch him turn into who he turned into, and bring us with him in that moment and share that moment with us, whether you knew us or not, somebody had to ask, well, who are these dudes? You know what I mean? And for me, it's humbling. It's humbling. I'm honored to be mentioned by such a great artist and a dope human being, and amongst some dope human beings in that lineup.
Right.
For those who don't know, for people that don't know these dudes, these are all some really dope dudes. Like, and I'm not just saying skill wise, whatever. I mean just good human beings, right? And I'm honored, man, and really humbled to be mentioned in that class. And you know, it's a testament to the work too. You know what I mean? Because he didn't have to mention me.
Well, see, and I know that you have a unique perspective, and when like I said, we're gonna have a few different things we're gonna chop it up on, but I do want to park you here for a second, in that seeing everything that has transpired over the last year, which has been, it felt like it's been a few years in one
Right.
at times, right?
Yeah.
How surprised are you based upon you having context and being able to reference a younger Kendrick Lamar in terms of who he became? Like, is this something that you kind of like, he's one of them ones, it's only a matter of time?
That and for the people who know him, it's not a rare, what I'm saying is not like a rare thought.
Right.
For those who know him in real life, we knew Dot was going to be Dot. Now I can't say to the level, like I'll be a liar to say like it would be to the level it was, but when I say we knew he was he was one of them ones, that pretty much covers it all.
Yeah.
So for me to watch him doing what he's doing, it's just like I'm proud. Like I've always been proud of him just being dope. It's the same thing when I first saw J-Rock on TV. First thing when I saw Kool Q on TV. First thing when I saw Problem accept awards and get his plaques and make hit records and write hit records for people, I'm not surprised by it.
Right.
Problem has always been a one-stop shop of just dopeness.
Man.
Right? So when you mention these people that the world might not know them, but the people inside the industry that we move around in or we once moved around in, they all know these dudes in some capacity or in another. Right. So what all of what Kendrick did, from the battle to how dope he is to the methodic killing of another person that we watch happen. As we talking,
as I'm getting ready for this live stream, Lucc is like, "Oh, you think this real?" And he shows me a video of this light-skinned nigga running from a drone, throwing his slippers. I'm like, there's no way this is, what did you do? Okay, I don't want to get into that, but let me just ask you. It can't be real life. There's no way this is real life. They in there laughing right now. Oh my God. Okay, so what are your thoughts in general about seeing that play out the way that it did? I wonder, because I had a thought that when I started kind of seeing the first songs from Drake drop, I said, I don't think you know what you just did. I don't think you know what you got coming. Because I've seen him in different environments that I was like, no. Over at TDE, they've been trained for these moments.
So I've never seen him in a direct battle with anyone, right? But when you hear, I've heard him on many records, been in the studio with them. I've heard bars, just sporadic, just out loud, acapella bars. So we know that he's not one of the ones you play with.
Right.
Right? And it's a few of us that was not one of the people you play with. And we've seen enough, we've heard enough to know that if he focuses all that on you, it's going to be all bad.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So I knew that, we knew going in, it's funny, me and my man Sticks would be on the phone daily.
Shout out to Sticks.
Throughout this battle, right? When he dropped like that, me and Sticks got on the phone like, hey, it's over. The Kenny about to.
Oh, you thought it was over then?
What? Immediately. Because I'm only waiting for him to start saying names and go in on niggas.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so I'm like, he put his flag in the ground with like that.
Yeah.
He like, all right, y'all ready? Let's start. Let's play. Now it's time to play. Right? It's time to go. I didn't think that. Well, yes, I did. I can't.
He said, I'm not even gonna hold you
Because I knew there was going to be bloodshed in a killing of a person. Right? I knew there was. I mean, of a certain person.
Right.
From Canada. But I didn't know that. I don't know why I didn't think this. I didn't think Drake was going to do the I should have known because he's King Petty, right? Mm-hmm. That do the extras because Dot was telling them like, man, just keep it
a friendly fade.
Keep it this, keep it friendly fade, and we can do. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. You know what I mean? But also, I'm letting you know that I have all that ready.
Yeah.
Basically, what Dot was saying, like, I have all that ready for when you get ready, because you're going to do it.
Right.
Because I know you.
I know you. I got a whole character description in Euphoria ready for you.
But I'm trying to give you an out as a psychotic murderer that I am.
Random acts of kindness.
Like
that's all that is.
This assassin from Compton, I'm trying to give you an out. And you didn't take it. So bloodshed. It's going to be bloodshed for the rest of the year.
Look, can I tell you this is a little bit of a detour. You know who did that for me one time?
Who?
Absol.
Word.
My stupid ass. Let me tell you about my young stupid ass. Look, I'm hanging around.
So being one of the illest MCs ever in life.
One of the illest in life. And I knew that as a young. When I first recorded him at my grandmother's patio, before he was with TDEs with a label called Street Beat, I recorded him and I said, he sounds like a young Jay-Z. I'm working with what sounds like a young Jay-Z. Right. At that time, I said that in the Carson. And I don't know what got into my spirit. I had been around a bunch of rappers, like shout out to my guy Najin, he used to go by Ben Grimm, and I'm around these lyricists and I'm like, I think I might be one of them ones too. I hadn't fully developed yet. I said, hey Ab, man. He was like, what's good, King? I was like, bro, like I came up with this idea. I said, like, maybe we should like kind of like do a friendly fade, like back and forth. Like, hold on, let me stop you there. Stop me there. I said, no, I didn't tell you the full idea. He said,
let me slow you down for a second.
In the friendliest way ever. And I didn't even know what I was asking for. In the friendliest way, he said, I don't think that's going to turn out well. And, I want the best for you. That was more terrifying than whatever. Like, even the competitive edge of you was like, what you mean? The part I said, you probably right.
Yeah.
Got right off that phone too, and I said I'm never gonna do that again. But see, it's those moments where even that's why you can't use the whole.
It's with love too.
It's with love. Sure. He didn't say that with Eric. He said it's like I can't even see him. He like put his hands together. He said, "I see why you would want to do that."
and
I get it.
You guys understand that he knew that if it gets to a point where I don't know where we can. We're good now,
right?
And we good. We good.
Why would we do that?
Why would you want to disrupt that? Because you called me with this. Why would you want to?
First of all, why are you calling me with this? Everything already in your life? Everything good?
There were so many more people than me before me.
You chose me first.
You could have. Yeah, that's a lot because he knew who he was.
First of all, I didn't drink myself. I knew what the hell to do. I said it was like that scene in Friday. You want
right?
You got it. Yeah, I learned my see, but every once in a while you get those warnings, and I think he didn't heed to those. We obviously saw how that turned out. Not to focus too much on
ego.
Ego. Go ahead.
So we talked about this off camera. We talked about how. Oh, I text you when I said how ego affects the eyesight. I text you. So what happens is your ego becomes so big that it's hard for you to see what's actually going on. Right. So once you're in that space, you're technically blind. Right. So even when stuff is happening to you,
right,
you don't see it. You feel it.
Yeah. But
you still don't see it. So you don't even believe it to be. So when you find yourself on this like this bloody mountain of bludgeoning
bludgeoning is the perfect word for that.
This space of doom, right? This area of sacrifice that was you.
Right.
It's hard for you to cope. It's hard for you to see. You start blaming everybody else around. You start doing all these things because you ignored this, or you ignored all the signs, and your ego will carry you to hell.
But isn't that when you have somebody in your circle that says,
Well,
hold on, you got too much dip on your
here's
chip.
the thing: what your circle look like?
Yeah, that's real.
Right? You know, if you've built up look, so people are talking about Drake. I'm not saying this. I'm saying what people are saying.
Sure.
People are talking about Drake personally, like being a lame, a weirdo, petty. Right? There's a couple of things I agree with. Right? But there's some things in there. But also, if you are that and king that, right? Then what does your circle look like? It can't be real niggas.
Yeah, because they wouldn't let you get that
Who's
off.
gonna let you get that off?
Yeah.
Right? Because I wouldn't even let you get there.
Right.
I'm not talking about the success. I'm talking about like the silly things you're doing.
I'm not finna be around you
I'm not even be there for that.
if you think this is what.
That's what I'm saying. Because I don't
how
want to be a
men
part of the
interact.
circus.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's just a testament to who's around. Right? The money's flowing, the girls are around. You know what I mean? So people are into like, I'll stay around for that.
Yeah.
All these things. What can fall off the money tree? Let me, you know what I mean? So you don't have no real like, and what does the OG look like to you? You don't come from that. You don't come from that. You wasn't raised on that side of the family.
Right.
You and Pops were together. Pops came around when the money came. Pops showed up when I showed up.
Sheesh.
Me and your Pops showed up at the same time.
Not
That's
me
crazy.
and your pop showed up at the same time.
Me and your
We both want to see what's going on.
We both
Hey,
like
man,
the-
you doing
we
well
both
for
like the
yourself.
first project.
Are you here too?
We both like the first project.
That's great.
That's what happened.
Oh, damn it.
Right?
Yeah,
So you didn't come up in that. Ain't
Right.
no OGs around. Ain't nobody telling you, hey, you stupid. Hey, little homie, go sit down.
Right.
That knock it off. We don't do that. Right? We don't do that.
Yeah.
Right? Ain't no we don't do that because we ain't we.
Can I park it there?
For sure,
'Cause
for
this,
sure.
this has been another hot topic that I think I have been fanning the flames of. How do you define in this era the proper OG?
How do you find?
How do you define? Like, how do you define that? Like, who is somebody that? Because I put this tweet up. I said, and this is kind of a co-written by some of my subscribers, but some YNs never graduate to become OGs. They just end up becoming OYNs.
Yeah.
They just get older.
Yeah.
Like D1 said something along that lines as well. When you're saying OG, and obviously we're talking about somebody that can play that role of mentor, somebody that can lead you and stop you from making mistakes that maybe they had made. How would you kind of define what that is today?
First, you got to stand on something. See, here's the crazy part about OGs nowadays is there would be people I could probably name if things didn't happen in the past like year.
Yeah,
because there's people I could name and I'll be like, man, I've been around him. I've did a lot of work around this guy. He's an older dude. He always gave us good game. Anybody young came around, whether it's kids or older kids under him, he always gave great advice. He always kept it real. But there's certain kind of antics that happens, and I'm like, wait a minute, man, what was that?
Yeah.
And I don't know if I could trust that. What was that? What that thing you just did publicly where you damn near ruined your own legacy for a money play or something. I'm not
for a moment, yeah.
For a moment, right? You know, so if I just got to pick, I'm me.
Yeah.
I'm 45, but I'm an OG you can count on. Mm-hmm. If you look at me as an OG, because I don't want nothing from you.
Right.
I don't want nothing from you. I only want to tell you my mistakes, my flaws, my bumps and bruises, and then tell you how I prevailed from a lot of that stuff and what kept me safe. I can show you safe spaces. I can show you other people I feel like are safe spaces in this game or come from this game, right? So cats like myself, and cats like Glasses too.
Yeah.
Glasses would be what I feel like. Now, let me hold up when I say Glasses, because Glasses, I love him to death. He knows this too, but Glasses, he's wild with a lot of stuff he be saying.
Yeah.
Now, he stand on it, which I respect.
Every time, yeah.
That don't make it no less wild than some of the stuff he be saying. Right? And I love him to death. Yeah. He a little crazy, right? So there's
my brand of crazy. I can deal. Right. I love it. I love it. Yeah.
But you are safe with some of the things he tells you for how to, how to act and what to do, and and watch yourself for these certain things.
Right.
You know what I mean? But when it comes to older than that, I haven't met a lot of the older OGs that people would know that I can name, right? You know what I mean? But cats like Warren G.
Warren G. But you know what's crazy is that I've never had the opportunity to meet Warren G. But that doesn't surprise me. It's something about the energy that you see in the interviews, and I think that's something that, as I just turned 40, I feel like I got a new pair of glasses. Even though I probably need some glasses at some point. I feel like I'm saying I've got a new pair of glasses in terms of the way that I viewed my folks that were, I looked at them as mentors. I looked at them as leaders.
Yeah.
Only to find out, like, one of the people that I've been talking about a lot of different folks on here, and my views are my views, but talking about some of the antics lately of like a Wayne, talking about the antics especially of like a Kanye West, because I grew up, wanting to be, glasses said, like, man, it's going to be the West Coast Kanye West, and I look at the way it's playing out, and I can, and it's almost like beyond disappointment in some of the things that are being said. When I saw him make the statement about, I'm gonna defend Puff and watch, I'm gonna win Grammys next year and do the Super Bowl, I looked at it and I was like, I see you for the first time. I see through the facade. I see through the superstar, larger than life figure, and I see you. And it feels very regular. And to me, that's almost worse than me having a moment where I don't like what you have to say.
Yeah, I think a lot of us got to stop looking for OGs in this business.
Hold on, let me put that there.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
Because it's like, now I understand if you operate in this space and these are the people you're going to be around. I get it. You should have somebody you can go to for some good advice and some good mentorship, right? I understand. But also, this game is, this is me being me, right? This game is also very wicked, right?
Very.
And this game being very wicked is that you don't know who's playing with who and who's doing what, right? So once you've built a rapport with somebody and you built this kind of relationship with somebody, there's always these ulterior motives that kick up. You know what I mean? And I would hate for some young man or some young lady to find themselves on the other side of some darkness because they're playing with people they're supposed to be playing with.
Yeah.
Right? And I can't openly vouch for a lot of people, right? Warren, I love Warren because Warren treats me like an actual friend of his.
Right.
An actual homie. I've been to his house. I met his wife, his kids. He's invited me on trips. We done been to places. His real family came to my house, met my mama. Like, it's a different kind of relationship with me and Warren. You know what I mean? And he's a good dude. And Warren don't want nothing from you. He don't.
That can't be overstated. Like that, the value is so important of not. There's an energy, and I remember Murs is one of the first people to let me know the power of approaching people and not having a to-do list of things you want them to do because they're surrounded by people all the time who want something from them.
For sure.
Oh, you're you. Man, I got a cousin that rap. I got a business that needs some promotion. I need da-da-da-da-da-da.
And these dudes been famous since 1819, so
it's crazy.
They've dealt with most of it.
Yeah.
Like most of all the things
the worst
you're
of
gonna
it.
go through, and the worst of it too. You know what I mean? Being from Long Beach, being from, certain people gangbanging, all that kind of stuff like that. It's been tricky, but yeah, man, OGs, man, sometimes we gotta start looking within ourselves or start looking in real places. Our actual parents, our actual uncles, our actual older homies that was around.
Talk about it.
You know what I mean? If you go in this business looking for people just because they're in the business, like, no, this highway robbery.
Yeah.
This game is dark, and I don't mean to say that. I don't want to ruin people's dreams and try to
ruin it today. Go ahead and ruin it.
No, but
you're dealing with DIYers who already want to know the truth.
Right.
They're like, just rip the Band-Aid off.
Yeah, it's just because that's this game. This game can be that.
Yeah.
In a major mass capacity, it's dark. It is. It's wicked. You can feel it. If you have any kind of discernment, if you're spiritual in any kind of way, I'm a believer in Jesus Christ, but if you're spiritual in any kind of way, you should be able to feel the darkness that roams in this industry.
Right.
It's dark and it's nasty and it's disgusting.
How many studio sessions have you felt that walking in? That's something that's it's interesting you say that. I've walked in a studio session and I felt like the energy draining in real time.
Now, here's the thing. Not in a lot of studio sessions.
Yeah.
Because I don't go to a lot of people's studio sessions. I have been invited to places and stuff like that, but usually I know the people and I'm knowing what's going on or whatever. Right. And I'm like, okay, or I won't go. If I hear certain sessions, I'm like, I'm cool.
Not even trying to fool with that.
Yeah. I'm not trying to be over there with that. But I've been around parties and stuff. Yeah. Not like actual, like industry standard parties.
Yeah.
Not like house parties and all that. I didn't do none of those.
Industry parties, it still brings that energy.
Yeah,
Man.
because the wicked people are there.
Yeah. He said it's okay. The wicked people are here.
Yeah,
You know
that's
what
the people who are robbing you and lying
Right.
to you, and the people who have making the people who it's like a singer that just got signed will bring her boyfriend to her first industry party, and the guy that's telling you how her life's going to change and she's incredible. This the same guy don't want to tell you he's trying to have sex with your wife or your girlfriend. He's just so wicked, you can't even see it. He'll meet you in your face,
Right.
and you don't even know. He's the same guy. When you leave, he gonna try to pull it in the studio, or whatever kind of. Or he may be an SA, it may be a SAC,
Right.
or he may be a rapist,
Right.
right? You know, so you got to really and. I'm not gonna tell the story, but I thought about it.
You thought about it.
Yeah.
It's all good. It's all,
Sometimes
you've already said. I think you said a lot.
But
So
the grooming happens from both sides too.
Yeah.
So I remember a situation where I'm not going to say who, but a young lady was trying to groom, not a groom, but trying to approach a friend of mine with her other friend that was gay, and
Wow.
it was not a situation. It was a very aggressive, like it wasn't even a cool aggressive situation. It was nasty. My friend had to leave the party, never to be back again, all that kind of craziness. And I got 1,000 of these stories.
Yeah.
Man, I left the game in 2015, 16, my last tape. I did a tape called Breathe. My man Amp from Soul Council in North Carolina. And after that tape, I left the business because of it started to feel dark.
Right.
Not with Diamond Lane, it's the homies.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But just the industry part of it. And when people would ask me why, they're like, yo, you in your prime of MCing. What do you mean? Like, I'm like, man, I don't like what's going on. I don't like this game. I don't like the people I'm meeting.
Right.
I don't like to show up in these places and talk to these people. I don't like none of it. And it's a fact. They were bringing in a new artist at the time. My man, Airplane James. He's a new artist.
Yeah, I remember.
They were bringing in Airplane James, and I was telling my CEO, throw the budget on him, because my album's supposed to come out. We supposed to drop the budget on my album,
Right?
Old big video thing, all the radio stuff and all the stuff like that.
Right.
I said, man, nah, I'm on my way out. Put the budget on him. So they couldn't believe that I was even like, wait, no, don't, like, no, put it on him. He's a young energy. He a young dude. He handsome. The women gonna like him and all these things. He's talented. He's ready now. Me, I'm on my way out. Don't even waste your money on me.
Wow.
Yeah, and I ain't did the album since.
So okay, man, that's a lot. That's a lot. It's a lot to unpack there. So I want to get a little bit more towards the story of, some of the things that you accomplished before you got to that place.
Okay.
We do want to have a conversation about, the transition from bad luck to good luck because, man, it's. Every time we talk, I feel like you tell me another story that my jaw drops to the floor. I don't know if you could share that one today, but just hearing about some of the stuff that has been so normalized over the years, you realize, how often trauma is playing with other people's trauma in this industry. But before we get into that, man, I think a lot of people, and like I said, you already had deals, you had already had motion and things before these situations, but I remembered, man, I was working a job. And on my lunch break, I was looking at 106 in Park, and I think you was it was like the Like What music video, and I was like,
no, that was Out Here video.
That was
my video.
That was your which one?
That was Out Here.
I was Out Here. That's what I was Out Here. Okay,
that's what made that a thing because
that was the thing.
Like What made sense for that to be.
Okay,
it was charting at the time.
In this space
Out
of time,
Here was a new record. Me as a new artist, never been seen before, never been seen out on that level.
Really,
I walked that video out on 106 in Park. Problem was with
wait. Talk. Break that down. Because all I want to say is that I was watching a music video of yours, trying to tell one of my friends, one of my coworkers, I know him, and it's like, no, you don't. You working here?
Yeah, that was Out Here.
Okay, talk about the process of Out Here.
Yeah, so Out Here produced by League of Stars. Just a record I did. I was going to be on my new tape. Did I do I don't know if it was a ski mixtape I did for South by Southwest. And I think I put it on my album after that, Off the Porch. But it first was introduced on a ski mixtape. Okay. A South by Southwest mixtape I was doing. And yeah, we put the video out, and, video was doing cool. But not like viral crazy. cool. But people made some plays, some calls were made.
Yeah.
And then we were on our way to New York. And I'm not trying to cheat you out of the story.
No.
It literally happened like people made some plays and some calls was made. And then I was told, yo, you going to New York to walk your video on 106 Park, which I thought was insane. Right. And I'm going to go on record and say it, but you can correct me later. I'm not sure if it's,
Right.
I had to be one of the first dudes ever to not be known like that, not have no global hit record, nothing like that, crazy, to walk his own video on 106 Park. At that time.
What does that mean to walk?
I think it was Bow Wow at the time. Bow Wow.
What is that, for those who don't know, what does it mean to walk your video onto 106 Park?
That's a lie. You don't get that kind of, you can't pay for that type of publicity.
What
at the time? So
yeah.
So that's one of our biggest shows in hip hop and R&B in black music at the time. 106 Park is the biggest channel you can go to preview your music, have your music video in the countdown.
Right.
That's major rotation, major spin type of thing. Right. For me to be this new artist, to walk a video on, meaning I'm going to introduce my video live on the couch. I was
on the actual couch for this, yeah.
Me and Prob walked on. Prob came with me. He walked on, and
Insane.
we introduced my video on 106 Park. Nah, that's not even heard of.
One
It's not even
time
a
for
thing.
that. That's insane. And this is something that you weren't pre-preparing for. You were there on a media run, is what you were saying. Or
I was there for that media run.
That media run, okay.
But that had happened. That's what got me out to New York so fast.
Insane.
Yeah, we were told, okay, it's going to happen maybe tomorrow. I'm just making up a day. And yeah, I had to do that. Now I did other media while I was out there, but that was the big thing. And I couldn't believe I couldn't believe that was a thing. Because, if you're watching the countdown on 106, for people who remember, right? If you're watching the countdown on 106 Park, these are all major artists or some new artists with a hit record that have gotten the top 10.
And
right?
it's only 10. It's a lot more artists than just 10.
No, here's the thing. I'm not on the countdown.
But still, you own the countdown.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
I'm not on the countdown, though. So it's 10 spots.
Right.
I'm walking my video on like an extra video.
Right. But I'm saying you're on the show that does the countdown is what I'm basically saying. Yeah.
100%. Yeah, so it was an amazing thing. And yeah, it's just one of the memories, man, you attribute to the game and the work in the team. Diamond Lane, man, Bird, man, they was putting in that work, grinding and relationships and tapping in with resources. And we talking about all of us from the hood.
Yeah.
Different hoods, but we all from a hood on the unified front of trying to get me and Prob cracking. You know what I mean? And for him to do that, for them to pull that, is an amazing feat.
Talk about that relationship with you and Jason Martin now, right? But talk about that relationship and really the I guess the way you presented is like both of y'all were at that time, kind of like shake and bake. Like it was like we gonna figure this situation out.
I was in my opinion, I was Scottie Pippen.
Scottie Pippen, okay.
He was Jordan. You know what I mean? He would never let me say that. If he was here, he would correct me. He would never let me say that. Because he calls Batman and Batman. That's how he made that term up. Yeah. Batman and Batman. He would never say Batman and Robin. He'd say Batman and Batman. But, I always play my role as a soldier. You know what I mean? Like I'm good with let me know the orders and I'll go execute. You know what I mean? But Prob always like, nah, nigga. Like, we here. No, ain't no you coming up on no, ain't none of that.
I seen it when it's funny because I was on the bench at League of Stars. I wasn't making them records like Trend and D Nice. I was trying to make them records. I couldn't make them. I was over here making soul samples and Pun was like, I can't place these records, man. What do you do? I got to clear records and all of that. But at that time, I would be in that environment and I remember at that time he go by Problem. He would literally be like, yeah, I'm gonna wait until Lucc get up here, and then we can start this idea and this whole session or whatever the idea was going on. But that environment, man, that it was the first time I saw something outside, and I didn't have many experiences, but my experiences consisted of seeing how TDE worked.
Yeah. And
then my other experience was seeing how y'all were working over at Diamond Lane. I'm looking like it is a constant flow of music. Like it's always somebody going on a lunch break, cool. Problem is in here down doing engineering duties. And he's going in there producing. And then I'll never forget the time I saw him doing all the things that I always heard about Dre doing in studios. I saw him doing that with J-Rock. And I was like like that Shaq quote, I wasn't familiar with your game.
Yeah.
But I do remember the utmost respect that he had, to the point there was a session that I went to. He was like, we gonna wait on Lucc first, because that input is just as valuable.
Yeah, he always showed me the utmost respect. You know what I mean? That's my brother for life, man. You know, it's there's a lot of living I did because of him. There's a lot of living I did because of Bird. Like, you know what I mean? The CEO, Bird, you know,
Yeah.
They it's a lot of,
when you say living,
yeah, because
you unpack that a little bit.
Because you gotta remember, like, at the time, I'm coming in as MC. What I mean by that is that, like, so you were talking about your soul sample beats, but that's what beats I want to rap on.
Mm-hmm. And you was the reason I probably got in that studio session, because the problem was like, look, I'm we out here trying to function. He had all these records going off, and I was like, I don't know if I got nothing.
I want to rap the soul sample.
You probably the reason why I got back in the room.
I'm a storyteller. I like to write. So you and McAdoo would be the sample guys.
Shout out to McAdoo. Yeah.
So I'm a lot of soul, and I'm like, okay, I can tell stories on these.
Mm-hmm.
But Prob was transitioning into, not transitioning. He was already turned up.
Yeah.
And I know that I could do that also.
Yeah.
And I'm not finna miss no records in here. So when I would jump on them records, I ended up being on so many songs. We like, well, I mean, you are a part of it. Like, you can't put out Mollywood with, I'm guessing, 12 songs, and I'm on 9 of them. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that was
and so the
Batman
Batman thing was created.
Yeah.
Because then I was on, we would talked about that sample, how you do that there. What's my man name?
Who that? No.
Who that? What's his name? I forgot his name. I forgot the band name. Anyway, but the song How You Do That there is we sampled for that record.
Yeah.
We talked about that sample, and Prob said he was going to try to get them to chop it up.
Mm-hmm.
And the next day at the studio, he hit me in the morning. He like, yo, I was on my way to the studio.
Mm-hmm.
He like, man, hey, I did that record. He said, man, you better come up here. I'm going to rap the last verse.
Young Bleed?
And like, man, you better,
Is it Young Bleed?
Young Bleed, yeah, Young Bleed.
Okay.
Young Bleed. And I'm like, yeah, man, you better not rap on it. Let me get on there. I'm on my way there now. I'm stumbling and stuttering and all kind of stuff. Yeah, no, you better, I'm going, hey, no, you better,
You better not export that record till I get there,
Yeah, then I finally get there, and the last verse open. I do my 1-2 on the last verse.
Right.
And then,
you did more than a 1-2. You had a standout verse on it.
I mean,
like, I remember that every time I hear it, I'm like, what's expected of a feature, right? There's a responsibility I think all of us as artists kind of inherently know, like, yo, if I'm asked to be a feature and I know this is one of them records, I got to show and prove. The clarity got to be there. The spacing got to be there. The tone, all that. And I feel like that was the one where you understood the assignment.
Yeah, it's just a great beat. Always loved the original.
Right.
And he killed the I forgot who did I forgot who flipped the sample, but he killed it. Mm-hmm. And Prob was doing his thing on there. And I knew, now I didn't know like regional or hit record. I didn't know in that capacity, but I knew that when people hear this, they gonna turn up. I knew that, and I knew that I had to be a part of that, because when I heard it, it made me just want to rap.
That was like wildfire.
Yeah.
Anybody who remembers that time, because you're talking about an era where we still talking about kind of like either the beginning or the tail end of the blog era still, right? So so you getting that steam as well. But it didn't need the blogs because it was in the streets. Like, it was everywhere.
And there was a gap. So what happened was too, and respectfully, YG, Tootin' and Booty was already out, and everything was going. They was all turned up. All these hit records in the streets that YG have, and then YG signed to Def Jam, and I think it got quiet because he's now in the system and looking for record, right? This before my nigga, right? So in that gap, then you got Problem coming up and coming out, pause, right? and he dropped Mollywood in the middle of all that. And if you're in LA at that time, or anywhere on this side of the West Coast, right?
You felt
that
that
hit the streets like
impact.
Wildfire.
Yeah, it did.
Right? And
I was in a high desert at that time.
You know what I'm saying?
I was living out there temporarily with one of my exes. I said, I can't imagine what the energy in the city is right now after this.
It was absolutely insane.
Man.
There's sold out shows and all that. You know what I mean? It was, and so when I say living, I mean like once he dropped Mollywood, I'm all on Mollywood, whatever. So everything, all the shows, the events, the parties, all the things, I was right there with him the whole time. And I met tons of people just being around, being in the studio, doing my thing. And I was introduced to a lot of people and got on a lot of records, got to write for a lot of people because of just being around and being in that space of like, oh, wait, dude hard. Like, the other dude hard too. You know what I mean? So, yeah, and I owe a lot to. And Bird was the CEO. So, you know, people talk about, being on Diamond Lane was the only time I wasn't in a slave deal. How about that?
That's one time for that.
Somebody gonna
We got to get in the conversation about the music, and I feel like we're transitioning that as I'm starting to now see from this lens. You're transitioning from the lyricist. I just want to out rap everybody to now it's like no, I'm penning for songs.
Well, but you asked me about Prom, but you got to remember I was signed to Snoop before I even.
Oh, so this is.
Yeah, you got to think.
Okay.
So before I was Diamond Lane, I signed to Snoop under Western Union. Me, my man Damani, and Superfly in 2007, 2008.
Oh man, okay, it's coming back in a rush.
Because
right
I had Damani was trying to do a record. Damani was trying to create a group where it was different people from different cities, different sections. So his idea was Blood, Crip, different people in the area under one unified front. Right, I didn't gang bang, he didn't gang bang.
Right,
Superfly is a Dog Pound member. But Superfly wasn't on yet. It was just me and Damani. So basically Inglewood and Watts. And we did our first mixtape called Jacket for DJs where we would do a mixtape and we would take all the drops from a DJ and just drop them on our tape like he did it. Right? So it's called Jacket for DJs. We did DJ Who Kid.
that's a dope concept, man.
That was the first one. We did DJ Who Kid first. We had all his drops all over our CD.
Right.
And it started to make a little noise. We started doing a couple of shows and started to be in the streets a little bit. And Snoop got a hold on to that tape through Superfly, because him and Damani was homies. And not only did he get a hold of to that tape, he also heard a record of mine that I did before called "Where You From." Where You From was my first video.
I think that low key was the one that the homie
That's
showed
the one
me.
you talking about. Your homie
I think that's the one he showed me. Yeah.
"Where You From" was a different kind of record.
Yeah.
And because I wasn't gangbanging, but the fact that I made that record, you would think, you know.
Well, being the person that showed me the record, I was like, since I found out new information about him, I was like, oh, for sure he affiliated with something.
Right. First time I performed that record, Lil Wayne had a show at the Vault in Long Beach.
Yeah, I remember the Vault. Yeah,
right, the Vault. And
he performed at the Vault.
At the Vault, yeah, Long Beach.
Really?
And it was some different artists that went on before. You know how some I don't know if it's Shine Healy or whatever. Some
probably was Shine Healy.
Somebody who booked a bunch of acts for him, get the money, get all the bread, right? And I ended up doing "Where You From." I wasn't supposed to. Damani was performing. Yeah. And Damani told me, he said, man, you got to do "Where You From." So I did "Where You From." I got maybe the first verse and the hook out the way. Whole riot jumped out. I did the first verse and the hook.
What you mean a riot?
Bro, you're not going to be screaming "Where You From" at that time in Long Beach at a club.
Are you seeing this play out?
What? I'm gonna say.
Like, I know you got to focus on your performance. Are you seeing this like, wait a minute.
Where you from?
What am I doing?
Tell them where you from. They all responded.
Well, I mean, since you asked,
they all responded. And then, so when you respond, you find out who is with you and who not with you.
Oh,
right.
Good to know.
Right.
Oh, you from
immediate
I
phase?
Figured you was
immediate phase. So we had to run off stage and all that stuff like that, whatever. But Damani kept saying, "Nigga, I told you, you got one."
Well, he still said, "I told you." After that,
he said, "I told you." He was telling me how real the record was.
Like, sir, you just incited a riot. He like, hey man, I told you that's the one.
Snoop got
Let's do it again.
Snoop got a hold on that mixtape and then that record. And he was like, man, I gotta sign y'all. I'm gonna sign y'all to a group.
Wow.
But here's the thing, people don't know this. He wanted us to add Superfly to the group. Superfly wasn't an original member. It was me and Damani, and we had a my man Diz. People don't know Diz. People don't know Diz like on a large. Yes, they do. Him and his family owns like a museum, like a black museum, African American art museum, stuff like that. They very prominent, successful, super dope family.
Right.
Diz was one of the original members. Me, him, Damani, and Diz.
Diz Grammy?
Diz was the original member.
Really?
Yep, Diz. Diz was the original member of.
I've heard that story about Diz and the family, and I was like,
you was like, it must be him. Yeah. So Diz the original member of Western Union.
Legend, man.
Yeah. Diz. So we ended up signing with Dog in 2007, 2008, and man, it was Dog. You know, he told us straight up like, look, man, put y'all album out. I may put out a couple.
Yeah.
He said, y'all gonna be able to do videos. We gonna tour. We get y'all some money. He said, everything else you're on your own. He said, use me as you see fit.
Right.
For whatever you need, features, whatever, a shout out, whatever you got to do, use me, a song, whatever, or whatever. So the reason why I can never in my life openly disrespect Dog on any kind of level was because he did what he said he was going to do. Everything he said. He put out an album. He put me on a single of another album, put me in a video, took me on tour, took us all on tour, paid us. I ended up writing for him, not completely, but I wrote maybe 20, 30 songs for Dog. It's just my career of knowing him just because I had the relationship with him. And it was beautiful on end. People that, the writing stuff it's a little tricky, but I was paid, so we'll just say that. And so that was a whole thing before Diamond Lane of me just being with Snoop. And I met so many people being around Snoop and,
see, I didn't know that.
And building a relationship with Snoop and the whole Dog Pound, and it was incredible being around and watching them work, and then writing. I learned a lot writing too, and that was just amazing for writing for a guy that you was basically raised on. Yeah, you know what I mean, listening to. So
what goes into writing for someone else? I mean, because as a writer myself, I've never had that experience where I wrote for someone and where I have to take myself. I've had moments where I write and I'm like, this sounds like a so-and-so type of production that they would like a Nas, for instance. And I'm like, man, this sounds like something where Nas would go real introspective. How do you kind of put yourself, I guess, in their mind frame? Like, what is your process when you're writing for somebody else?
Well, for Snoop, for me, I felt like that was a cheat code because, like I said, the first time when Snoop Dogg dropped Doggy Style, I remember it released at midnight at Tower Records in Hollywood.
Tower Records.
My dad stood in line and got the tape. Came home. That was what, 92? 92, I think, 91, 92. Okay. Came home and mind you, this had to be 1 or 2 o'clock at the time.
Right.
A.M. My mom took a look at the cover and was like, get this S-H-I-T out of my house. Right? So my dad, which is crazy, my dad, instead of taking it out the house, my dad came in the living room, I was sleeping on the couch. Yeah. He woke me up and said, take this tape, don't let your mama find it.
Oh, shut up.
So I'm at Bancroft Junior High the next day. I went to Bancroft Junior High the next day with that cassette in my headphones, listening to one of the greatest albums I ever heard in my whole entire life. And that's what introduced me to Snoop on a grand scale. Of course I heard Deep Cover, but on a major, I get the whole collective, was that tape. So to now, at my grown big old age self at the time, I'm writing for the same artist. So for me, it was like I had almost a 20-year head start.
Because you had already,
semi-year head start.
Your mind is already understanding.
There's nothing to Snoop I don't know. All his antics, the voice, what he would rap about, the slang he would use, all the things. I've been studying my whole entire life. So to write these songs was like, all right, let me just be him. Yeah. The only mistake I made was I remember the first time I started writing for him was on Ego Tripping. And I wrote a verse first, and Terrence Martin was there. We was all working out at, I want to say, Enterprise Studios. And I think that's when he brought on Quick and maybe Teddy Riley. I'm not sure if that's when Dog was working with both of them at the same time. But Terrence heard my verse and said, that sound like it's for you, not Snoop. Because my idea of money, ball, and all these things was a very you don't have no money, you know what I mean, way I would do it. Right? Like that, because what he would want to buy, what he would have is different than what you just said. And I'm like, like, because, you know what I mean? Like, it's like saying, like, you know what I mean? Nigga, I got $1,000. And you like, nigga, that's Snoop Dogg. What you mean you got $1,000? Right?
Write that for me.
Right? You know what I mean? So I had to go back and be clear. I didn't say that line for the people who are listening.
But I get what you get.
But I had to go back and fix it, and then it was dope, and then it made it to the album. I ended up writing 4 on that song, on Ego Tripping, that first album.
So, okay, take me down to the timeline of how we get to you penning I Wanna Rock.
So that was the next album.
That was the next album.
Yeah, Ego Tripping. So I was already, now we have a relationship to where I'm been writing. And I'm not the only one either. And don't be confused, Dog writes also. Right. If he don't want you to write, he'll write his own raps, and which he still does too. But I also looked at it like putting some younger homies on and helping also, and I like a new creative energy, young energy, since they are around.
Right.
We're young. Me and Prob is young energy around.
Right.
Terrence Martin is young energy around. So that was the next album, and I went to the studio. I forgot the name of the studio. Some Brazilian spot. It wasn't in Brazil at all. I'm just saying like a Brazilian spot out here.
Yeah.
Like the way it was done up. And he plays that beat. What's my man? What's Kid Frost's son? The producer?
Kid Frost's son.
Forgot my nigga name. I can't believe I forgot
Somebody
his name.
in his chat for sure, no.
I forgot his name. But and I don't mean no disrespect. He did the beat. I heard the beat. Scoop DeVille.
Yeah.
Scoop DeVille did the track. I heard him. He played that beat, and I was like, first thing I told Dog was, I said, look, now I'm gonna write this record, but I'm gonna write it where I think you need to be as far as slang and terms and all stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna have you cater to me more than I cater to you, but I'm gonna use your voice and stuff. You know what I mean? Because when I heard that beat, it sounded like young, a middle of like southern, northern, a bop to it. So I'm turned up at the time. I'm peeled out and I'm all that, right? So I'm writing what reflects that. You know what I mean? And then that was the first record I wrote to. Here's the crazy part. When I get a call to come to the studio, so I don't know I was going to do that record until I got to the studio.
Right.
He sent me what would be the second single while I was home, and he was like, man, I need to write this record, and can you meet me at the studio in an hour? I'm thinking to myself, like, write a record.
And then meet you in that.
Then meet you in the studio.
I still got to get ready. I got to drive somewhere.
I ain't did nothing, let alone write a record.
Write a record, what?
And get dressed, and get here in an hour, and then, you know what I mean?
What is this? What are these demands?
The cool part was the hook was already there.
And
that song was Gangsta Love and Dream with the Dream on the hook. And I ended up writing the 3 verses in like maybe 30 minutes. I had you know, as you know, you've been in the studio with me.
Yeah.
Me and Prob, we write really fast. So that's writing fast is not a problem.
Quick. Yeah.
The fact that I didn't have to do the hook, which takes me the most time, that saved me a lot of time. So I wrote that record, got to the studio, and then he had I Wanna Rock playing. Just a beat.
Yeah.
And I was like, nigga, what is this?
What is this? Because that beat still is aged really well.
And then I said what I said. And he let me do my thing. He recorded it, and I didn't know they was gonna be the first 2 singles.
Oh wow!
The first 2 singles of the album. Ended up doing 2 or 3 more on that album also.
Right.
And yeah, he just was like, want to see us work, and was always like, yeah, y'all do your thing.
Yeah.
You know, and it was incredible and easy because, like I said, I had a 20-some-odd year head start of already know who don't know Snoop.
Yeah.
You can write like Snoop. Who don't know Snoop?
I feel like if you gave me that assignment,
you know what I'm saying?
I feel like I wouldn't be too far off.
Right.
I'd be like, you know what? Niggas. I already know where I'm finna go with that.
That's what I'm saying. You know, so
but
yeah.
I think what you said is an important element, and it's crazy because I feel like working with I did a project recently with the homie Yaman Amari, and that's kind of the role that he played with me, was that he was like, I ain't gonna say you doing some unk raps, but I've been hearing you on these beats, and you kind of have a cadence that sounds like it's dating itself. And I'm like, why nobody else told me this, right? Maybe they heard it, maybe they didn't hear it, but the way that he said it was like, all right, well, let's do this. Put your inflections here, change this. And then I heard and I felt the difference.
Yeah.
And I was like, that could have only came from someone who had a younger perspective and saw like, here's the blinders you have because you've been doing it for however long you've been doing it a certain way.
Right.
So I think that's supremely valuable. So let me ask you this. So I Wanna Rock goes on to do massive numbers and it is a huge success. I remember it being #1 on a few different outlets. Before we get into that, hold on. I got a quick detour. You know, I'm not here to be no messy or nothing like this, but I do want to ask this because I know my audience, when Snoop name got brought up, I can already feel the energy shift a little bit.
Yeah.
It's been a testy year. It's been a interesting year for Snoop, for Uncle Snoop.
For sure.
And a lot of things have happened and transpired from I mean, you don't have to go down the line, but even like the Bitcoin performance and Snoop, and then some folks feeling like he kind of, I guess, played the fence during the battle with the tailor-made freestyle and whatnot. And what's been kind of like your optics on it? Because like you said, you know him from a perspective of somebody that, was a man of his word.
Yeah, I thought that was stupid. I did.
Would not expecting that answer. Okay, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna. I can't.
Right.
Look, man. I love Dog. Well, I shouldn't even have to preface none of this. My
Sure.
relationship with Dog. I love Dog. He's always been good to me, man. But if somebody make a stupid move, it's stupid. You know what I mean? I would never put my legacy on the line for something so stupid. You don't need the money. You don't need. I don't know what the publicity is about. You don't need that. You are the most. You're almost probably one of the most. No, you're literally top. I would guarantee top 3 most famous people in the world.
Famous people,
Period.
not even famous rappers.
No,
Come on, famous people. Most
faces,
recognizable,
regardless,
without a doubt.
right?
Yeah.
So you don't need popularity. You don't need the money. I don't understand the move. And just to have that kind of scar on your legacy, this ain't like back in the day where stuff just brush off, they'll forget. Like, no, that's on your legacy.
Yeah.
People are still in your comments today talking shit.
It replay. That's the thing about it. When you got video to back stuff up, and then people are putting it next to video of, him, saying some crazy stuff about the president or whatnot, and it's like, there's even a video of him criticizing artists. Like
for doing it.
What's the girl's name that ended up going to perform? Chrisette Michele.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's
Ain't
like
seen her since.
Yeah, because she caught hell.
So what I'm saying is like what can you tell me to make me be like, oh, I get that. Especially in these times right now. Like we're in a horrible place in America right now. Like what's going on with we're not going to talk politics and all that, but
right.
As far as politics, rules changing, we have a changing of the guard. We got people that aren't even presidents making plays, right? So we got all this wild craziness going down.
As DJ has called the United States of Elon Musk.
Right, you know what I'm saying? So you got all this craziness going down. Why would I ever even look like I'm standing next to somebody like that? Either one of them.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm just like, that wasn't a smart move. It was stupid. And, stupid don't have an age limit on it. You can be stupid. I mean, at any age. If you make a dumbass move, excuse my cursing because I'm got to be working on cursing too. But
you good.
But if you're gonna make a stupid move like that at your big old age with your legacy intact, you can almost do no wrong as Snoop Dogg. You could almost do no wrong. Yeah. But that was stupid. Yeah. It was stupid. And maybe what ego does, put blinders on, right? Right. Your ego almost probably make you, because I noticed your post after that. It makes you feel like everybody else is haters.
That was the kind of the energy I think
it's kind of like, y'all tripping? Y'all
we
behaving?
Just don't understand.
Y'all tearing down another black man because, and like, nah, dude. Like, when are people going to stand up? Look, first of all, I just want somebody to stand up for us. Like, it always got to be like we tearing down the. Stop doing stupid stuff. Yeah. Like, I shouldn't. First of all, I am on the side of good, not evil, or not wrong, or not bad. If you're on wrong, evil, or bad, I can call you out for it. Black, white, yellow, red, whatever you consider yourself to be. Wrong is wrong, right? And stop doing wrong or bad stuff, and you won't be called out for it. So you won't have to look back in your comments and say, y'all always tearing down another black man. Stop doing that BS. Yeah. You knew it was wrong. You knew it was stupid, and it was embarrassing, and it wasn't even a good look. Yeah,
see what you sound like. It sounds like exactly what I echo with the Kanye situation, because the first thing he said was, "You see how they do us? It's like it's only us when you getting your back kicked in."
That's what I'm saying.
It's not fair, because it's like you bring in real emotion to people who don't have the safety net that you got financially.
I'm not standing by none of that. I don't want my legacy. Look, man, I changed my life. I changed my life a couple of years ago. Got baptized, changed my life. I mean, I've been married. I got married and everything. My life has changed drastically. That's why I'm trying to monitor myself for cursing, because there's 45 years of talking a certain way. Yeah. I'm going to be slipping a little bit. Please show me some grace.
Hold on, let me hit you with this, because I'm for sure trying myself. Yeah, for sure. I'm trying my best.
Trying my best to not, you know what I mean?
Especially having a son on the spectrum that like to repeat stuff. Because he'll do it all day long.
Just say stuff. Yeah.
Like, I can't say nigga no more. Yeah. Oh no, he's repeating the wrong things. All right, go ahead.
So I'm trying to be cool and perspective, whatever. But yeah, man, you have to just stand on something. My ultimate point is stand on something and don't put yourself in a position to be called out, no matter what you got going on. Stop making us look stupid. If we always complaining, it's only a few of us in certain spaces. Don't be one of the ones that make a dumb move in these spaces. Come on. Now we got to call you out for it.
Yeah, you don't all. First of all, don't corral my influence or don't corral my interest in you leading the charge for something or against something, I should say, since we talking about hip hop, and then you become the very thing that you were leading the charge against,
which is ridiculous, and it looks stupid, and I would be embarrassed. I would be, but you know.
But you a different man. Well, let me ask you this, especially because I got a lot of independent artists in here. And shout out to my chat. They love that segment. There's a lot of folks who were like, clock it, just say it as it is. The authenticity is needed, especially in this time. You're right. It's a very crucial time for a lot of different people, especially black folks. It's a very crucial time, and we're looking and analyzing things in a much different way. Give the DIYers some perspective on this industry, right? Because I want to lead this into a conversation about, you already know what I'm about to talk about. We're talking about hobbyifying the music. But for somebody who has seen, supremely large crowds, for somebody who has had success as an artist, solo artist yourself, as a part of a label and a group, as somebody who's written for other artists on the level, the highest level you could perform on, give them a reality check in terms of the music industry.
Yeah.
In case they don't know exactly what it is they're signing up for.
Yeah, I will always say, because I never want to scare people out of their dreams. I'm not a dream killer. I don't crush nobody's dreams. I just want whoever wants to be in the music game, which I can speak on. Just be sure this is what you want to do. And what I mean by that is that you've been told enough times. You've seen enough movies. You've seen enough documentaries. You've heard cats like myself talk very straightforward about how wicked, dirty, nasty, and disgusting this industry can be, right? So don't just hear my voice and me say these things and then you just ignore it like, well, it won't affect you. It's going to affect you in some kind of way.
Right.
Whether you decide to play or not, that's on you.
Yeah.
Right? But it will hit your doorstep. You will be confronted with things. I'm not saying that everything's an Illuminati and everybody trying to take you in some dark room and blood sacrifice you.
Right.
I'm not trying to say that. What I'm saying is those rooms may exist. That's one thing. That's one thing. It may exist.
Not you hitting the U-turn on that. He said, well, wait. I'm not saying it don't.
That room, yeah.
I'm just saying that's not what I'm focusing on.
That room may exist, but also there's a very low level scale of like just robbery. People lying in your face.
Yeah.
People not being real. People throwing you under buses. People conniving you and snaking you out of business. Men being very predatorial. Women being very predatorial. Like, these things are happening. You don't know how many times in my career I've sat in the studio and a little cute girl in the corner that I know one of the rappers or know whatever they in here flipping because I know what's going on.
Wow.
She turned out to be such and such, which I'll never publicly say names. And that lady ended up being such and such, and she ended up being such and such. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or
I know exactly what you mean because
right?
I've seen it with and this is where I started to realize that I had to ask a question, and I think we talked about this earlier. I don't want to cut your point off.
No,
but
for sure.
It's the point of, does my moral code, can my moral code exist? Can it coexist in this industry and me still attain the levels of success that I think I want?
Yeah, that's something, that question is something I can't answer, but it's a very good question to ask because that means your conviction is standing in front, right? But now the problem is when you don't think about things like that.
I don't know what that is. I don't know what that looks like.
Yeah,
I'm afraid of that.
If you don't think about things like that, that's a real problem because anything will confront you.
Yeah.
Right. But you got to be thinking like, okay, look, let's take me for an example.
Right.
I'm a Christian man, right? If I decide to play in this music industry, right? Because mind you, I'm not separating gospel from secular.
Right.
The music industry, period. I want to be very clear.
I've heard stories about that. Yeah, that round too. I thought it was different. Even going hanging out with the homie Ruslan in Christian hip hop, he was telling me about the beefs. I said, "What you mean beefs in Christian hip hop?"
I'm trying to tell you, the music industry. I didn't separate gospel from that.
You said the music industry.
Music industry, period. Yeah. If I'm a Christian man and I know I'm going to enter into the music industry as maybe a gospel artist or maybe some kind of artist,
right,
as an MC or as a writer, I understand that God always goes with me and he always goes first. I pray for discernment all the time and I pray for wisdom all the time to help me make the best decision possible when I enter these rooms. I have to be a light in these rooms because I will never be the dark, right? So with me going into these rooms, I understand that if it gets shaky, if stuff gets shaken, I got to get up out of there. And that's it. I'm not playing with nobody. I'm not doing that. I don't want to be so famous so bad. I can't even, I gotta brush my teeth with the medicine cabinet open because I can't look myself in the mirror.
Hold on.
Somebody gonna have to tell it.
So,
there you cook it. Yeah, go ahead. Continue.
I can't. I sleep at night. I sleep well at night, knowing that I ain't got no nasty smut in a cut nowhere. Where somebody can hold over my head and say, "Here's a videotape with you doing something crazy," or "Here's a contract where you signed something evil," or I got you on audio talking crazy about your wife or your husband or whatever the case may be. None of that exists for me. So my whole thing is, if I decide to move in one of these industries, in the music industry, I'm telling them as new people, I'm not trying to scare y'all, because it could be a beautiful place if you stay beautiful. If you stay beautiful, it can be beautiful for you. Just take God with you at all times. I'm not trying to paint it as hell. I'm not, right? I'm just saying that I love y'all, and I don't want nobody to go through some of the horrific stories I've seen or heard from other people. Things that changed them, things that ruined music for them, right? Now, for me, the business ruined music for me. It was wicked and dark, but the business and how people play it did. It wasn't like I got something happened to me or something crazy happened. I just didn't want to play in a industry where I couldn't trust nobody. You know what I mean?
How do you turn? What my thing is always, how do you turn that off?
How do you? And if we're gonna be playing with millions of dollars one day or something, like, I don't know what to. You know what I mean? Like, for me, now here's the thing: I left the music industry per se before I was a Christian. I was feeling these things before. So that had to be conviction of something. As God was pulling me closer to Him. That had to be a way to be like, all right, this ain't for you right now because you ain't prepared for what's about to happen in here. So come on out, right? But here's the thing. A lot of people don't know this. People ask me to rap all the time on stuff and get in this business some kind of way, right? And I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. Or your song is, I ain't never doing that kind of song again, or whatever the case may be.
You ain't about to pull me backwards. Right? I'm good here.
But I got a call from an artist, a producer friend of mine. Shout out to Warren Campbell, Baby Dub, that's my boy. Warren Campbell called me to get for me to do a feature on Tina Campbell record.
Oh wow!
My pastor always told me, God don't give you gifts for you not to use them, right? So the fact that I have the gift of rapping a rhyme, like, I'm not to not use that. And when he called me, it's the first time I heard out loud, oh, here is the music you can do. Because this is about writing about your love of God and your relationship with God.
Right.
And when I met, this is what people don't know. I'm glad we got here.
I'm glad. Look. First of all, let's get situated because this is an amazing conversation, and I'm glad that I feel blessed to be able to platform it for sure.
People don't know. When I got that call to do the record for Tina, a couple things happened. One, first of all, I said, thank you, God, I got it. Because I remember the conversation I had with my pastor when I first joined my church. When he told me, oh, no, you're going to use your gifts again. That's not how God works.
He prophesied to you that wasn't going to happen?
The very first day I met him, he said, you're a rapper. What you mean you don't rap no more? And I told him I'm done. Me and my wife said, no, I'm out.
Yeah.
He said, that's not how that works. He's like, God gave you a gift for you to use it.
That's not how that works.
He said, we'll talk later. I don't know when. He said, I don't know if it's years or days. We'll talk again.
Wow.
And I got that phone call to get on the Tina Campbell record. So when I thought about that, the second thing I thought about was, I'm like, Tina Campbell doesn't know I have something to tell her personally, which I haven't met at the time. I didn't met Tina at the time. I met Erica and I met Warren, but I don't think I met Tina. But anyway, I mean her. So this is what I have to tell her. I go to the studio and we do the record. She's a joy. It's such a pleasure to be around. I met her husband. it was I did my thing on the verse. She loved the record. We love the song. It's supposed to be on her new album. God, thank God. And I told her, I said, before we leave, I have to tell you how you and your husband saved my marriage.
Wow.
And so she like, what? And she sat down. I said, let me tell you. I said, before I changed my life, I almost lost my wife from being an idiot. When I said it was an F-boy, right? Being an F-boy, not doing what I'm supposed to do as a man with her. At the time, I was just her boyfriend. And I almost lost her recently. When I say recently, I mean like the last 4 or 5 years.
Right.
Me and my wife been married 3 years, almost 4 years now.
Man, congrats.
So thank you. And I said I was caught, my hand in the cookie jar, and she was gonna leave me. In my opinion, she was gonna leave me. And showed me some grace. I'm short, so I'm gonna make it kind of fast. Showed me some grace. She told me, I know that ain't you. Now she's seen everything. Yeah. My phone, DMs, texts, all kind of craziness, right? I know this ain't you, so I forgive you. Because I apologized already. Yeah. And I was just hoping she didn't leave me. Because at the same time, I knew at that very second, I almost lost my wife for this. Yeah. It was not my wife, not my wife's wife. I'm sorry, not my wife at the time.
Who you see.
I almost lost her for this. I'm an idiot. I'm a piece of, right? And if I'm allowed the chance, never again. Yeah. Never. Yeah. And she ended up forgiving me. Now, it wouldn't happen immediately. I think it was like a day or two, couple days, whatever.
It might be a process.
Yeah, because it wasn't no like, okay, and because I never want to see that look on her face again. She looked at me with such disgust. Yeah. I'll never forget that face. And I'll never forget it because I don't ever want to see it again. Yeah. And I already knew what I wasn't going to do. Here's the thing. Forgiveness isn't enough. Now, forgiveness is enough. I'm explaining what I mean. I could not operate in the space I need to operate as a man she needs or a husband she's going to need if there's still things that haven't been uncovered. And I didn't know what to do. But the only reference I had on what to do was maybe a couple of years prior, I used to watch the Mary Mary reality show. They had a reality TV show.
You said the
Mary reality TV show.
Mary. Oh yeah,
Mary.
Yeah.
And I remember when Teddy, Tina's husband, got caught cheating, and it was all bad. It went bad. It went on tour. It was all bad. It was crazy bad.
And it's on TV.
And it's on TV. It was bad. I remember Teddy had a conversation with Warren about the only way he can be the man she needs to be, and prove that there's nothing she don't know, and complete transparency, complete vulnerability. She has to know everything, not just what she caught. Warren advised him not to do that, but excuse me. Warren advised him not to do that, and he said, "I got to do that because if I don't clean my slate, then it's always going to be something.
It's going to be on faulty foundation.
It's always going to be faulty foundation because it's not no real truth here. Because even to omit is a lie, right? So that's the only thing I knew I could do because I understand that I have to. It's going to take a lifetime to build this trust back. Yeah. But I got to start it the right way, and I'm willing to work it if she's willing to show me the grace so I can do my time and make up for this. Yeah. So I thought about the show and I said, I got to tell her. I tell her everything. Yeah. I remember I talked to Debbie Dev that morning. Debbie Dev was so disappointed in me.
Shout out to Debbie because we've covered a lot of her content. We've covered her content, specifically during the whole battle where she brought such a voice of reason to where it's like, she probably said the most powerful thing. I don't want to hijack the story, but she said something that's powerful in that she's just like, I'm just disappointed in you, Drake. And I said, did y'all feel like I'm like,
like a motherly kind of,
because it's like you could tell this is someone who has worked on themselves, and shout out to her because I know she has a new book that she's releasing, and like she's really taking the time to work on herself. To hear that, and it's like, I just expected more of you. Yeah. So this is somebody that we covered on the channel for sure. Yeah.
So it's that's kind of her thing with me. That was her thing with me. Like, I'm disappointed in you. I did expect more from you. I love Chastity. Chastity is my wife's name. Yeah. Chastity is a sweetheart. Like, I'm disappointed in you. And yes, do whatever you need to do to fix it. If you're allowed to fix it, fix it. Whatever you got to do,
right,
fix it.
Right.
So I went in there and I told her, I said, baby, I got to talk to you. And I said, please sit down because this ain't going to.
Yeah.
I said, what I got to tell you is going to hurt. But there's no way for me to start the right way at this, what I'm trying to do, if I don't tell you everything. Not just what you know. You have to know what you don't know.
Yeah.
And then, bro, I sat her down. I told her about just stuff. Out of town, tours. Literally stuff you would never find out.
Right.
Literally people I forgot about. And
Probably
I just remember moments but don't remember names and all that stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
wow.
told her everything. And be clear, I'm only telling the story because my wife allows me to tell the story.
Yeah, somebody emphasize, Afro Butterfly just emphasized if you are allowed and put a target next to it.
Yeah.
That's important.
I was allowed to tell the story, so my wife knows that I tell the story. And I tell the story as a part of my testimony to let people know, like, yo, I was a F up. When I talk loyal, when I talk I'm trying to be a great husband, I'm trying to learn. I'm not speaking from a place of trying to act like a perfect husband.
Right.
No, I was a piece of shit. You know what I mean? And my life changed. God being a part of that conviction, and I'm learning to be the best husband. I'm loyal. Period.
Right.
But I don't play at all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I'm still learning other ways to be a better husband than I need to be. You know what I mean? So once that happened, that started like the clean slate from like, okay, there's nothing she don't know.
Yeah.
That's an actual, and here's the thing. It sounds cold, but it's reality. She now can finally receive 100% of me.
Because you laid it all out.
Because she never had 100%. I was a piece of shit, and I didn't do it like I was supposed to do it.
Yeah.
And she could have left me, and it would have been over. And she was well in her right. Thank God she did not.
Wow.
You know what I mean? But
shout out to her.
But I told Tina that story, and Tina called her husband, told him what happened, and I told Tina, I said, man, look, I said, I hated that you went through that. Just like I hate that I did my wife that way. I hate it. Even to this day, we've done major work, therapy and a bunch of stuff. We still in therapy.
Yeah.
Not from that specifically. You always need therapy.
Just in general. Yeah.
And but I hate that that's the thing. Every time I think about it, I hate it. But I also told her, I said, sometimes you don't know how God uses you to be a testimony for other people. Because there was no way I could have got through that if I didn't have the vision to even see what they were trying to do, so I can use that, so I can let that be a template for something I need to do to get myself together and act right, so I can do right for this woman I need to do right for. You know what I mean? So I was like I said, I hate you have to go through that, but also you don't understand the stuff you go through sometimes ain't for you.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's for other people.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm
To
gonna
the
tell
500 people that have walked in here in this conversation, I can guarantee that somebody's picking up this message right now. And I don't even got nothing. And I'm sitting up here thinking, like, what I need to tell my wife. I'm like, I don't even got, I ain't never hogged on nobody.
I ain't never hogged on
I ain't
nobody.
never hogged on nobody. But it's authenticity in that, man. That's something that you can't deny. First of all, I appreciate you because you didn't have to share that part of your story, and I genuinely do, because I know there's folks that need to hear that, who are in the midst of relationships that really mean something to them. And we are human beings, and there are things that we definitely got to course correct. Can I first of all give you your roses for this? I had always known you as, like, if I went in them studio sessions and I seen Lucc there, I always knew it was gonna be love. Like, you were kind of minding your own, like you was in your zone, but it was always love. And even like if I asked you a question, there's times I didn't want to ask you a question because I didn't want to bother you, because I didn't know you like that at that point. But I just like, man, I'm sitting in the studio with Lucc right now. This just means something to me, right? As a producer and in there, and I saw you in one way, but the amount of respect in a real way, it was beyond just this is somebody who's worked with this, and this is what you've done, what you've done as an artist. When I saw this interview that you had with Homegrown Radio, it damn near reduced me to tears. I was walking out of my neighborhood out here, and I was going through a crisis of such, where I was trying to figure out, like, that very question we were talking about earlier of how does my moral compass and how does my code line up, or how does it out of alignment with what the industry is telling me I need to be a successful Curtis King. And you said something during the interview that I just had to stop in the middle of my walk and think on, and I could not stop obsessing over it. But the thing that you were talking about, and I don't want to, I'm going to paraphrase it, but it was something along the lines of, when you chose music, it was a hobby by default, right? You got to know it. You spent your time with it, just like any other hobby. When you made it your career, for you and a lot of other people, it kind of took away your hobbies to the point where this is everything. And to a certain point where you've done so much with this career now that you don't really have there's nobody that's going to really encourage you to turn it back into a hobby. I want you to explain this, but what I got from it was this, is that it was an overwhelming sense of freedom, because for the first time, I didn't attach, forget Curtis King, DeJuan, I didn't attach to what I did as much as it is how I'm doing it, right? And that idea of turning music back into a hobby, that would have been blasphemy to a young 20-year-old Curtis King, because I'm like, what do you mean it's a hobby? I'll take this serious. And then you were like, no, like people be taking hobbies very, very seriously. They spend a whole lot of money to support these hobbies, and it's just a matter of allowing yourself to have that space, and then also open yourself to possible other passions.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what brings me here to YouTube. That's what brought me to, mentorship and things like that. But that conversation, man, I saw you as a human being that I'm like, bro, I already looked up to you as an artist and what you do creatively. As a man, I heard what you were saying, and like, I put my pride aside. There were certain things that I was doing, and I had to do what was necessary, and I had to turn it back into a hobby. Can you kind of give people a vision of this? Because you did a whole video on it, which I definitely want them to go check out. What is your theory? I know your boy had kind of like gave you a little bit of insight. What is your theory around, I guess, the de-hobbyifying of music?
Well, the kind of like the
hobbyifying, I should say.
The basic. I was basically saying why you shouldn't always is a very key word, because I don't mean concrete.
Right.
Why you shouldn't always monetize your passion. Right. And so I found out in music, rap music, that though I enjoyed the sport of rap, the minute I turned it into a business, it became demanding in a way that I thought, I don't love rap no more. You know what I mean? And for me, being a kid who I thought I was going to be a rapper my whole life, that could shake your world up.
It's crushing.
Yeah. And you find yourself older and don't know what to do now, which is very scary as a black man in America.
Yeah.
Right? With a lady at home.
Yeah.
And bills. Right? And so, very interesting when you talk about the demands of what it takes to become a rap artist. Right? Rappers just, you rap. You rap on beat sometime. You rap without beat sometime. Have fun. People think you dope. There is what it is. Right? A rap artist, you have to sell things. You got to show up to appointments. You got to, kiss baby, shake hands.
Right.
You got to,
you don't get to turn that off.
Yeah, you got to spend nights or days in studios and with engineers, and you got to promote, and you got to show up at shows and mess with a bunch of strangers and people that they're going to tell you you're the best as long as it's good. If it's not good, you're not the best no more. Like, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to hang with the people I was hanging with, not as a crew. I mean, like being out in the world touring and doing business.
Right.
I didn't want to hang with these people because I could always see it. I could see someone. Look, it's nothing. I mean, it is, but like to sit at a radio station across from somebody who do not give a damn who you are, but it's just their job. They have to interview you this morning.
Yep, you just the next one up.
It's so degrading. You know how many times I've done that?
You know how many times I've done it too?
Right. You in a space.
I'm empathizing with you because I know what it's like. It's like you really don't care about nothing that's going on here.
You don't care at all.
Right.
You don't. And you're reading your notes like you know the song, like you like the record, like you like the. And for me, I know you don't like it. I know. You, here's the thing: you may not even don't like it or not. You may not even heard it or not. But I know you haven't heard it.
Indifference is probably even worse.
And I can tell. So meeting these people, doing shows and showing up at deadlines, and it's like, man, I didn't get into it for this. And why did I think I want it?
Yeah.
Why did I think I want this? What made me think? We talked off camera. I watched J. Cole sit on somebody's couch. I don't know if it was Jimmy Fallon or somebody. I forgot. And he was saying how I thought I wanted all these things. And then when I got all these things, I didn't want none of it.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
You think you want to be famous.
That's what you think.
I don't.
Right. That's what you. I'm talking to the audience. You think that's what you want.
For sure. And I'm very clear on me. I don't.
Yeah.
And at a time in my life, I did. You know. And then I started getting closer to not necessarily fame, but closer to just demands and doing all these. I didn't want to do none of that. And then once I got older, I realized how much fame wasn't going to do me no good.
Right.
Your privacy. I like to just be out with my wife.
Yeah.
And my son, and like go somewhere and everybody don't crowding you around you or paparazzi. Not saying I was going to be that. I'm not speaking arrogantly. I'm just saying that.
I mean, you did start a ride in Long Beach though, so I mean, that's
just
regular old Friday night.
Yeah. You can't stop spending so much time in the past. You gotta
come on, Curtis, move on. Okay, I'm sorry. My bad.
No, but yeah, man. The basic part of it is that sometimes you don't know what you're willing to. I said I used this example before. So you're a cook and you like to cook at home. You're a chef. You're a home chef, right? You love to cook for your family. Cook your family all the time. Your friends come over, family come over. You love cooking. They love your food. Everybody eats. You're happy. You love that they're happy. They love your food. Great times. Every time you cook, it's always amazing. Everybody amazing. And then what happens is you start listening to your family saying, you know what? You should sell it. You should sell these, whether it's cupcakes or whatever, chicken lollipops, whatever you put together. You should sell all these things.
Chicken lollipops.
Very good.
I don't know if I'm hungry. That sounds amazing.
It sounds amazing
a real
right
thing?
now. And I'm actually on, yes, chicken lollipops. They're real thing.
That's a thing?
Yeah, well, they're not lollipops. They're chicken and the meat is pushed up on the bone so you can hold the bone and eat the meat at the top.
Give me 12.
Give me 12.
Give me 12. Give me 12 and I'm going to start swatting at anybody get close to me like drinking that drone. Go ahead.
But, yeah, so somebody convince you, you should sell them. Yeah, make some money.
Because that's the natural thing everybody tells you to do. Once you get something that's good, it's like, you can make a lot of money on that.
Because they nailed that saying in your head. What's the saying? If you work for, what's the saying? You never have to work again in your life. If you love what you do, you never have to work again in your life. It'll never feel like, I know what you're saying. I forgot the saying though. But that's saying, right?
Yeah.
So that's nailed in our head. We believe that, right? And ain't nobody ever told you like, wait a minute. That's not always true.
Hold on.
So now your cupcakes are for sale now, right? Yeah. Or your chicken lollipops for sale now. Oh, now there's a high demand. Oh, now you have to make 200 by Thursday, right?
Now you spending more time doing inventory.
And now you've never made 200 lollipops before. Now your season's off. Now it's quantity over quality. Yeah. Right? Now people are complaining. Now some of your chicken lollipops came back. Somebody threw your cupcakes in the trash.
Yeah.
Right? And now you like, daddy demand, wait, what happened to Thursday? Where's my food? Where's the order? Give me my money back. All these things. Oh, you ain't so quick to get up in the morning and start baking next day, are you?
It all of a sudden, that thing that you love feels like a prison
It
now.
feels like it is a prison.
Yeah.
You have confined yourself to the rules and demands of all these other clients and customers.
Damn.
It is now a prison for you, right? And you don't love it no more. You think you don't. You do love it. You just don't like it in the way you've made, what you turned it into. Right? Yeah. Rap music, I love the art of rap. The art of rhyme and rhyme words on paper or spit out loud. I love it. Yeah. What I don't love is to be an artist on demand and saying, dance, nigga, dance somewhere. I don't want to be that dude.
Everywhere you talk about those same radio shows that you said about people that don't care about your music, they still got the same nerve to be like, all right, nigga, now rap something.
Yeah.
What you mean? You ain't gonna do no research. We gonna rap.
It sound really old school with it. Bust a rap for me.
Bust a rap for me one time. Oh, you rap? What's your bust a rap for me one time?
Why don't you spit something?
Give me some of them balls. Like,
you know
no, you.
And then if you don't, you're not a real MC. That's what they tell you.
Oh man.
So to basically wrap it up on that part. But just be sure this is what you want to do. If whatever your passion is, sometimes that thing should just be a thing you do, and it's free, and you love it. It don't take nothing from you. It only adds to your happiness. Photography for me is my thing. That's for me. It's not for my wife. It's not for my son. It's not for my friends. It's my camera, and when I take these pictures, they're for me. Have I done gigs with my camera before? Yeah, here and there I've done stuff, whatever, and I've done stuff under the guise and rules that I want to see fit.
Show world.
For the most part, I do not. That's why I'm trying to content create and do other stuff, so I can let that be that. I don't ever want to truly be a full-on photographer where I got to meet demands and do. I'm never doing weddings, but
you squeezing all the fun out of it. That's it. That point,
because it's for me and it's for me only, and I can do it when I want to. I have my camera here. I haven't even put it out the bag,
right?
But I love it and it's here, and if I want to, I will. But I'm not, or whatever.
But see, that's the function of a hobby, and that's the part I think that I saw this firsthand with production first, because you got to think, look, I came in as a rapper.
Yeah.
Production was something that just came a little bit easier. And, you know, my homie, we both, you know, it was a whole long story. Went to Electronic Boutique. We were supposed to go get NBA 2K3, end up getting MTV Music Generator. And I was making beats on the PlayStation. Wow. He took it home the first night, and he was like, you do something with this. I don't know about it. And I figured it out, and I was like, hey, I'm actually picking this up a lot faster than I do a 16 bars.
Oh, wow.
And it's just coming to me. And so then you start to talk about when I'm introduced to an Ab-Soul, or I'm introduced to the first, you know, quote unquote placements in my career. Those are the opportunities and the doors opening up first before me as a rapper.
Right.
So it's almost like, I mean, follow the sin of success. I think I like production, but I really like rapping. I like writing. I like telling stories. This is why I do YouTube. I like you know, telling stories and explaining things and being an orator. But I'm looking at this and I'm like, I literally let that take me for a 15 to 20 year or 15 year journey where I was just going where it went because everybody was like, man, that's what you can monetize. And I did monetize it. And then I got to a point, Lucc, where I was making more money than I had ever made selling beats online, and music was the least amount of fun that it ever was.
Wow.
It's like I finally have the things that I wanted music to do to do for my life. I'm making a full-time career, but I'm like, first of all, this is happening and I've never been here before. Second of all, who the hell do I go talk to about this without sounding like a spoiled brat?
Right.
What you mean, nigga? You live off music for a living? You complaining? Man, you better walk it off or whatever. You know, if I talk to one of my elders, walk it off. But it was a real thing, and that's why that moment was so powerful to me in that interview where you said that, because I was like, damn it, that was the hobby I wish I did not. Initially, I'm grateful for where it went.
Sure. Right.
And it did open up all these doors, but I spent a lot more time in that world, even as a mentor and as a YouTuber, than I really was committed to. It was just a matter of like, well, I'd be stupid not to do this. Well, that's how I felt, at least in the point.
Your perspective is, so here's the thing. You don't know what you don't know until you know it.
True.
Right?
True.
If you didn't do that, you would have just did it later, wasted your time later. You know what I mean? And when I say waste your time, not like nothing good could come from it, but you found out what you need to know early on. So you can decide whatever it is you need to do with that, you'll do it the way it's supposed to be done now or after that sometime, right? I didn't know that the business was going to essentially piss on rap for me. I didn't know that. I thought that I wanted to be a rap star and I wanted to have money and I wanted to take care of my wife and buy my mama that big house she'd been dreaming I was going to buy her whole life, right? I thought that these were the things that was the way I was going to do that. And when I started realizing that I don't even want to do it no more, something I used to want to do every day. Yeah. And I'm like, well, what is that? Why I don't want to do it? I don't even feel like going to the studio today. Then you would miss 2 days in the studio. Then you would miss a week. And then you'd be, you know what I mean? So once I realized what it was, and I had a conversation with my boy about Drew, who actually said that quote. And I'm like, that's what I'm feeling? Well, that's what this is?
Can I ask you this? Yeah. This is a very specific question because I took heed to the words that Drew shared, which you said, Drew, right? That he shared with you, in that I started saying, what would happen if I psychologically turn my music back into a hobby? And I'm telling you, this is what birthed the live stream series that I do. My audience knows called Flocation, where for the first time, I wasn't concerned of, is this good enough to get a placement?
Right.
Would, so-and-so rap over this beat? I just want to make music for the pure sake and fun of making music again with no attachments.
Yeah.
And it became fun again. And it was like, when I look back at it, it wasn't that monumental of a shift, but the feeling was monumental. And I think that I know for a fact that you were the first domino that sent the other dominoes down. Cause I was like, all I had to do was just take some unnecessary pressure off me, because being in the quote unquote industry for the years that I was in it, I was my worst critic, because I'm around some of the best. I'm around Soundwave. I'm around Willie B. I'm around, the best of the best. Here's Ali, one of the best. I'm seeing this on a regular basis. Even in League of Stars, I'm on the bench because of how good Trent is and how good, Tone and everybody else is in there. And so I put this amazing amount of pressure, and for the first time, that was freedom for me. Can you talk a little bit to transition? What is it about photography, do you think, that was such a smooth transition for you? Like, why was that such an easy thing for you to build the passion that you've built off of it?
I think it was a perfect time because I had just realized that I didn't have anything for me. Me and my wife were on a birthday trip for one of my friends, and we were playing this game. I forgot the name of the game. This is some game was on Redbox where, I think it's called I forgot what it's called. Something about my friends. Something. I forgot what it's called.
Is it something with friends? What is it called?
I think the same thing though. Where you ask these questions to your friends
but
it's
Words with Friends?
It's not Words with Friends though.
Okay.
But it's something with friends though. And so we asked each other these questions, and but the questions are like questions where you get to know each other, but on a very deep level, way beneath the surface level. And my wife, I'm sitting at a table with 10 of us. My wife passed me a card, and the card said, when was the last time you did something for yourself?
What a
to
question
show you
for
love,
a game.
to show you love yourself.
That's a heavy question for game night.
Fam, I had that card in my hand, and I was sitting there like stuck for like 10 seconds. And I'm sitting there. At first it was like, okay, let me see. When the last time I done something? And then it got to a point where I started to feel like, wait a minute, when have I done something for myself?
I'm about to broke me down.
Bro, I started crying immediately at the table, bro.
Yeah, I did the same thing.
And the men at the table, which I thank God for, I'm so blessed to have in my life.
Yeah.
My pastor was there. My pastor, first thing he said was, Lucc, I understand. He said, I understand. He said, as a men, we don't never prioritize our own happiness in a way, right? Once we become fathers and husbands and stuff like that, you devote everything to them, and you leave nothing for yourself. Like sometimes we find ourselves doing these things so we can pay bills and provide and get my wife and my son and my family and right. But when I got to thinking about, well, what's the last time you got something for yourself? And I'm like, I can't even answer it, and I'm embarrassed. I'm also sad that I don't have an answer. Yeah. And I just broke down crying. I felt horrible. Yeah. And my pastor was telling me, look, you got to find something. Like he said, it's very important. And he was telling me how self-care is marketed. Self-care isn't even marketed for men. It's marketed for women. You got Glen Ivy, you got all these massage places and different kind of therapy spas. Even the stuff look feminine. Yeah. Right? Which is okay. You can use fonts, it. But even the fonts and everything looks feminine. Everything's it's not really marketed towards men. Now, maybe a little so nowadays, maybe since self-care, since it's
more inclusive now.
Health and wellness, health and wellness has been like a big topic. But prior to these days, like the last maybe couple of years, last 3-4 years, that's not a thing. Damn. It wasn't geared towards men. Men are told to work. We don't care about what you're going through. Work. You got to provide. You got to bring home the bacon. You got to take care of such and such. You got to bring the money. Don't cry. Get over it. Get over your things. What you stress about? You got to go to work tomorrow. Depression. What's depression? You gotta be right so you can protect your family. So you can do
walk it off.
All these things.
Drink it off. Put
a Band-Aid on it. Get out the house. Go back to work. Go back to work. Right. So that sent me over the edge, and I couldn't think. So when I got home, my good friend Mr. Howard, I was telling him about my trip and what happened. And he was like, you know what, man? I think you'd be good at content creating. And I went, what you mean? He said, you should do videos of yourself. He said, your page is already funny. He said, what if you just start saying little funny stories in your camera?
Yeah.
He said, matter of fact, I'm going to get you a camera.
Wow.
And then he gave me my Sony ZV E10. He gave me the camera. And he said, oh, here's a lens. He gave me a 30 millimeter lens. He said, he said, you need a 16 for you need a wire lens for your talking heads stuff.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go buy you a lens. He bought me a lens the next day. Camera, 2 lenses.
Wow.
He was like, here you go.
Yeah.
What happened was I took a picture first. And I was like, oh, what is this?
This is a thing. There's something here.
Bro, I've never been
from
like
the
my
first from the first shot, you knew.
The first shot I knew. I was like,
wow.
Oh, this is what I don't know what this is. This is it.
Yeah.
And I just fell in love. And I used to have my camera I have my camera every day, taking pictures of people and things and landscape and all these things I learned. I started YouTubing everything about camera and focal lengths and all these and all these things. And then I started watching these videos and people doing vlogs and stuff. And I'm like, wait a minute. What's the difference between a cinematographer camera and this camera? What's the difference between the FX3 and the camera I have? And I'm like, wait a minute. Oh, that's different settings for different. Oh, now I'm like, oh wait, video's different. And then I'm like, and it's for me. This is for me. It's not for nobody else. I don't hand my camera to my wife and be like, okay, it's your turn.
Right. No, this is
it's
me.
mine.
That's mine.
It's mine. And it makes me feel happy when I have it. And when I go out, I'm happy. I'm having a good time. And I don't have to do anything. And I don't have to shoot if I want to. And it just makes me feel like this is an escape for me. Now, mind you, I got to find more escapes.
Yeah.
And more things. Because as men, we should find things that make us happy outside of our wife and kids and stuff.
Yes.
Yes, my wife makes me happy. Yes, my kid makes me happy. Yes, I'm happy with the life I'm building for myself. But I also need to stay sane because this world can be hard on men just like it's hard on women. Right? And so with the world telling us that we aren't anything unless we are providing,
yeah,
I got to make sure I tell myself that.
You know how many times, and I've never really talked about this on my channel, how many times, I've allowed my bank account to determine how much of a man I feel.
Bro, you don't even want to understand the conversation. I've had my wife about that stuff.
And not even because it's a lot of money. I'm talking about the times, like the worst of times is when I look at it and it's like I look at myself and I start asking questions about my age and all the time that I dedicate to what I do, what I should have.
Yeah. Because at this age, I'm willing to bet you're almost 40.
I am 40. Yeah.
You're 40, right?
Yeah.
You're 40. I'll be 46 this year. If you asked me at 20, what I would have been at 45, 46, it wasn't this.
Yeah.
I had it all mapped out.
Yeah.
I had my big house and all that. My wife, big diamonds and all, big cars and fun and vacation when we want to. All these things. But life don't happen that way sometimes. Sometimes it just don't.
And I'm glad it don't, because that stupid ass 23-year-old version of Curtis King, I was like, I'm gonna be the West Coast Kanye West. Do you know what that even means?
Bro, do you understand?
Do you know what that means, young man?
If I would have been a rap star at 20 years old, I would be on under somebody's tombstone right now. What?
I say the same thing from a different, and I don't want to hijack it, but from a different perspective, I would be in the same thing because I did not know how to slow the F down.
Exactly.
Right.
So yeah, but to anybody listening, especially young men or men in general, you ain't got to be young men because I wasn't young when I learned it. Do for self sometimes. I don't mean be selfish. I mean like there has to be something that's for you. I don't care if you get with the fellas and y'all play dominoes, or you're into cigars, or you pick up a camera, do photography, go take a picture of the animals outside. Whatever you got to do, make sure you do something that's for you. Trust me, it's good for your sanity. The world can be harsh.
You gotta, and the kind of place that I go to with that is at this stage, as much as I love being able to make music with my peers, I still love it. Like if there's an opportunity where, first of all, I want to work with people that inspire me, right? I don't want to work with somebody that looks at rapping as a joke. Or I want to work with people. I have the same passion I ever did, right? I just have to set the boundaries even for myself creatively, because I know that when my mind is set on something, like I did the end of the last year with the project I did with Iman, I get back into that mode that would have put me in the grave in my 30s. And it's like that we're dealing with different stakes now.
Yeah,
As
yeah.
a dad, as a husband, with the responsibilities of holding things down the way my business is designed with YouTube, it's just not as responsible to do it. But I do recognize that those moments that I'm in there and I'm making music, let's say for, last week we did a 7-hour live stream.
Wow.
All I was doing was just feeding my flow state. That energy.
Yeah.
I went to bed probably about 2:00, woke up at 6. I'm bouncing when I get up in the morning. I'm not tired because I fed myself creatively.
I like that.
You know what I mean? So when I hear you describe
sleep
that,
a little longer too, though. But still, I like to do like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Sleep a little longer too, though.
No. I'm not justifying it. I'm just saying
I got it.
as an example of an extreme
For
example.
sure. I like
even
that.
in moments where I'm like, I should be exhausted, I'm up, and I'm like, that's because before I poured in everybody else's cup, I filled mine.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I think that's important, man. You got to, because like I said, it's not about being selfish. You should have something that's for you, and more men should. You know what I mean? And just like women do it all the time. Women know to go to Glen Ivy, go get touched up and rubbed on, and go lay in some sand and some mud, and go feel good, and come home and go get a mani and petty. And do all them things.
At this stage, I'm jealous because I'm like, oh, y'all been holding off on all the good stuff.
They will do it. They will do it. They will go on a girls' trip. Guys' trip got a horrible name because guys be on BS.
Yeah.
That's why you got to get you some good loyal friends.
Yeah.
I have good loyal friends. I have a small group of friends. We're all married. We're all loyal. We're all men of God. We do not play that game. We're not playing. We done did some stupid things, but we not playing is with our wives.
We ain't playing with. I'm
not
going back home. My foundation is going to be solid.
Exactly. Yeah. So make sure you get you a good. Surround yourself with good people too. Because when I broke down and cried, I needed my wife to wear me on my back, and I needed my pastor to be like, "Look, we got to figure it out." He said, "We got to figure it out."
We got to figure it out.
That's a
different type of type of brotherhood right there.
Yeah. So I think it's important, man. So make sure you take care of yourself, fellas.
Yeah. And I'm learning. I'm learning because the funny thing about it is if you don't learn, your body will make you learn because it start putting them sirens off.
Let me tell you this real quick. No, you remind me of something.
Yeah.
So I don't know if y'all know. I ain't talked about this yet. So I drive Uber also, right? And one of the most important conversations I had with a passenger in the car, I was driving early in the morning because I like to do airport trips. Sometimes I start early, like 5. And I picked up this guy downtown and went and lost downtown. And we drive to the airport. He's like, "Man, how you doing, man? What's going on?" And so, "How long you been driving?" I said, "Oh, no, this is my first time. You're my first trip. I'm wake up early to do airport trip." He said, Good. He said, do you vacation a lot?" And I'm like, me and my wife try to go somewhere like maybe once or twice a year. He said, "Good, man. You should spend more time vacationing." And he said, "I'm not trying to tell you this like I'm trying to tell you what to do." He said, "I'm a neurosurgeon." He said, "I'm going on my second vacation this year, and I'll be going for a month." He said, "I'm not saying to be going for a month. That's not what I'm telling you." He said, "I'm telling you this because 90% of the patients that lay across my table and don't ever go back home, people that were overworked and stressed out."
Hold on.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
Is it
Overworked
and stressed out?
He
said, "Your brain will stop working if you don't stop."
Damn.
It's that simple. He didn't talk to me in big technical terms.
Yeah.
He said, trust me, every day I can count on me walking into work the next day. Somebody is going to lay on my table that got a very small chance of living because of how they overwork themselves. He said, "I see it happen. Your brain will stop working if you don't stop working." He said, "I vacation 2 to 3 times a year. I be gone for months." Now, I understand the privilege. It's him talking.
That's privilege. Right.
I understand the privilege.
There is a privilege that exists there.
I mean, to be gone for months. But you ain't got to make it months. But you need to go. You need to get away from work.
Yeah.
But it got to be some days you get away. I don't care if it's 2 days, 3 days, whatever you got to do. Take 2 or 3 different vacations a year. Whatever you got to do, you have to do it. He said, you can tell yourself this. Now, this is him telling me, whatever anybody says, I don't care because I've seen it. He says, "I don't care what you need to do. I don't care how you got to tell yourself to do it. You have to do it. I'm not telling you something I think. This is my job."
Yeah.
He said 90%. He said,
90%.
we're not talking about people who are overweight or people with super high blood pressure or people who are dealing with cancer and other kind of ailments. And we're talking about working class citizen, healthy
Pure
individuals.
stress.
One day you're here and then your brain decides to say, "Nope,
Damn.
tomorrow, not today." You ain't gonna do me like you've been doing me.
Yeah.
Shut down.
Because you're not listening.
Because you're not listening. Because your body always gives you signs. He said that.
Always give you signs.
I'm not trying to teach. I'm not the healthiest brother, obviously. When you look, I'm not the healthiest.
No,
brother.
but
I'm trying to tell you something somebody told me.
Giving the game.
Because right is right. I don't care who it's coming from. Right. So he told me like, hey, don't play. I only brought that up because you said about vacation.
Yeah.
We have to do that. Now that's for y'all. That's for men and women. That's for both everybody. We have to make sure you take time out for yourself and get away from all that whole "I'll sleep when I'm dead" talk that cats like these moguls and stuff start saying that crazy that I'll sleep when I'm dead. All that crazy. No, you gonna be dead because you didn't sleep.
Quicker.
How about that saying?
Yeah.
I'm dead because I didn't sleep. How about that
saying?
saying?
Dead because I didn't sleep.
I'm dead, dude. What about that saying?
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm
They ain't telling that saying.
I ain't never laughed at death before like that, but that's a real. I'm dead because and it's crazy because I drank that Kool-Aid at some point, right? When I was making songs like 21/7, where I'm working 7 days a week, 21/7. I romanticized the idea of getting less sleep, and I'll tell you what, maybe it was like a few LeBron James interviews where I was not expecting him to talk so glowingly about sleep. Did it really kick in for me? I was like, dog, that's the cheat code. How you going to get out here? If you're a competitive person, how do you think that you have anything? How can you think you can hold a candle if your battery is only being charged back up to 15, 16%? And you talking to somebody who slept for the last 8 hours for the last 8 years.
And you'll let Steve Harvey tell you that 8 hours of sleep ain't good. You let Steve Harvey tell you there ain't no millionaires and no billionaires sleeping for 8 hours straight.
You hear me?
You let him tell you that?
No, he ain't telling me
That's
nothing.
crazy.
That's crazy. That's why you're broke now. No, that's not. It's because I'm listening to stuff like this.
No, cats like that.
Yeah.
Stephen A. Smith, with your 100 jobs y'all got, right? Y'all got 100-something jobs, whatever. Like, don't beat on the table. Don't end up on that man's table.
You're going to end up on that man's table.
All that money, all that fame, do not end up on that man's table because none of it's going to mean nothing at that point. All them jobs, you on TV, 90% of the time I turn it on, you on some different show. Or Stephen A., every time I turn to sports something, you on another show. Like, chill out.
Chill out, yeah. But see, that's something that as I feel like as men, especially in depending in the media and hip hop and different spaces we'll be in. I guess it's just the men in general, but I just don't from the first-hand experiences, it feels like that's also part of the beast that we feed because we're told that you're not going to succeed
because we listen to the wrong people.
To the wrong people giving that
message.
And
we think because someone is successful mean that they had the right answers. Here's the thing: you don't know how they got successful.
Facts.
How about that?
Facts.
How about if you did hear about some crazy story about how he actually got successful,
change
or
your
how
whole
somebody
perspective.
actually became a billionaire,
right?
How they stole the whole blueprint to something. And that's how he became a billionaire, or how somebody did some unthinkable craziness to get that movie role, and that's how they become a millionaire.
And something I always quote my guy Epic the Don. He used to say, I think people underestimate, not give too much credit, but underestimate the role that just plain old luck plays at times. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's like there's certain. I'm sure that you have so many stories of times where it's like, if I had not chose to go to the store that day, stop at this gas station this day, said, you know what, I really don't want to go to the studio this day, but I went anyways. Had I not, the sequence of events that leads to it, that part of that has to be attributed to, I mean, you could say, of course, destiny, and that God had it in plan, but there is a role that is like, this was intended for you. The combination to that safe was for you to unlock.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, me, I'm very, I don't play. I believe that God ordered these steps. So I believe if you did make that left, you're supposed to make that right. And then a plane fell on the other side of that because you made that left instead. Yeah. For me, that's not luck. I'm like, oh yeah, you made that left. You're supposed to make that left. Yeah. Or, and not that I don't believe in luck for whatever that means, right? But I'm a very firm believer in discernment and you listening to your body, your spirit, your soul talking to you. Now, you can fight all day and argue about that, what you think that is, right? I'm not going to argue about what I think that is, right? Yeah. But we have to listen to these things because there's something bigger than you that's outside of you that also can dwell in you is telling you what you need to be doing, right? Yeah. And so, yes, You could just stumble. You could have walked in the wrong door and be like, "Hey, do you act?" Mm-hmm. And then boom, you get that role. That happens.
Look, I'll give you one yesterday. I'll give you one yesterday. I am now in a place now that I take my breaks, or I take my break in December and November, usually just December, where I don't do any work. I get off the phones. I try to take a break, and I just have to refresh. I've been on fire this year because of me being able to rejuvenate and whatnot. One thing that I have not prioritized that I'm trying to figure out. And Afro Butterfly said, break. She said, what kind of break is that? No, I took a break. I took a break. It's my kind of break. But I'm sitting in bed yesterday, and I'm like, yeah, I need to really go out and go for a run. And something was heavy on my heart. Look, I was like, why am I feeling like a sloth? Why am I not moving? I start getting security updates on my phone, and one of my neighbors takes a picture of what looks like either looks like it might have been like a female with short hair carrying a shotgun.
Word.
My neighborhood don't never got them kind of issues.
Right.
But carrying a shotgun towards the park.
Wow.
That I was gonna go run at.
Wow.
I'm literally in bed, like, oh, I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna go. I need to prioritize my health.
Right.
I listen, and I feel like a part of that also is a privilege sometimes to listen, because living where I'm living now, we talked about this earlier, it gives me the ability to listen.
Yeah.
And I feel like I hear God clearer than I ever heard before. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's trying to talk to me, but he was trying to talk to me over sirens in certain situations. Right. He tried to talk to me, but meanwhile, this other person in my ear talking about whoopity-whooping, clapping their hands, and it's like, I hear you kind of guy. But no, coming out here was a matter of that. And I also just wanted an environment that, I didn't want to normalize the traumas that I normalized for my son. You know what I mean? Because if I can do that, right? I don't want to shield him and protect him, but it's like, you already got some things that you're going to have an uphill battle on. And I want to make sure that you got the best scenario to do it. It just so happened that, the spot we had, thank God, it's one of the best school districts for kids on the spectrum. Had no idea, but that's how God works. Right,
for sure.
Right, so... But yeah, I seen that with the shotgun. I was like, I'm tell you what, I'm not gonna jog at today.
No, not at all. And you have to listen to that voice, bro. You have to listen to it for sure,
man. So, look, I want to bring this to a close, man. First of all, round of applause. That was, without a doubt, probably one of my favorite conversations that I've had, especially on these seats right here. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions for Good Luck, can we talk about this? What prompted the name change from Bad Luck to Good Luck? What was your line of thinking on that one?
I was already, I know the words mean things, one. And what was the last straw was, I was on a trip. So I don't know if you remember, Def Jam had remember Hip Hop Honors? The show, Hip Hop Honors?
Yeah.
They had a Def Jam edition. The whole show was Def Jam artists. Hip Hop Honors. And I went with Warren G down there because he was being celebrated and honored. Right. And we were all staying at this his hotel in Tribeca. And it was called the Tribeca Grand or something like that. It was right on the corner. And that hotel, all the artists stayed. Right? And I met DMX there. I met Public Enemy. I met a gang of people.
Oh, wow.
Bro, I was geeked. Yeah. I'm already with Warren, so I'm geeked already. Right. I'm a fan of his. And also, I'm meeting all these legendary artists, right? Yeah. First time meeting Scarface, right? Scarface walked out front. Him and Warren, obviously cool because Warren knows everybody. And he said, man, yeah, this my boy Bad Luck. So he reached out. He said, wait, Bad Luck? He said, oh, no, I can't shake your hand. So I'm laughing. We laughing like, oh, that's crazy. He said, no, man. He said, no, for real. He said, I can't shake your hand.
Wait, who's this saying this again? Scarface is saying this. Oh,
so I can't shake your hand. He said, man. He said that. He said, no, you got to change that name. He said, don't put that on you. He said, don't put that on yourself like that. Yeah. You got to change your name. He said, give me a hug. I gave him a hug. So I know it was love. Yeah. But he was dead ass serious about that name. Yeah. You got to take that name off you. You got to take the name off you. And that whole weekend, I was there for a week. That whole week when I seen him, he never shook my hand. He always hugged me. He shook everybody's hand, gave him dap, all the things. He said, man, what's up? He said, he called me Lucc. Yeah. He cut the first off. He said, come on, give me a hug. He said, you got to change that name. He always said that. And I'm laughing after a while now. Right. But until the day we left,
he didn't shake you.
He did not shake my hand.
He said your name. I said I believe you.
Yeah, you got to change that. You
He
got to
said,
change your
I
name.
don't. Well, wait. So I guess for context, how did you get the name Bad Luck?
So I got the name from in high school. We were battling everybody. Everybody was battling, whatever. So it was kind of like a corny way to say it was bad luck. Like once versus me, when you go against me, it's bad luck. You ran into your bad luck.
Yeah,
your luck has ran out, basically, right? That's what it was. Your luck has ran out.
I love it.
And so it stuck because it was aggressive. I was always a big dude, aggressive looking dude, to people, even though I'm a teddy bear in real life. But I was always aggressive in stature and stuff like that. And my rap style is aggressive. And so it just stuck. But I also was getting to growing and getting older a little bit and thinking and, knowing that like words mean things and stuff like that. And then I understood. I think I was having a conversation with somebody and they was talking about how you name babies and how the names you put on babies can determine like growth and stuff like that, depending on, how much
spells.
right. So, and then that happened and I was embarrassed, but not embarrassed like somebody falls embarrassed.
Yeah.
More so like, I
understand that. I should
get it.
Yeah.
Now and I know it came from a dude named Scarface, but still it's different.
Wait. I gotta share this because this messed me up too. I'm so used to just being in these hip hop circles and being in these like especially on the West Coast. I'd never made the connection until Sherry Young just said, facts. Problem, a.k.a. Jason Martin, said the same thing about changing his name. Y'all was running these streets as Bad Luck and Problem. I know that sounds so like common sense. Y'all was Bad Luck and Problem.
Here's the thing. We was Bad Luck and Problem at the time, too. That's a very old life.
I hope I don't sound stupid when I say this, but it's the first time my brain is fully under Scarface's observation.
And here's the thing.
Y'all was Bad Luck and Problem everywhere you went.
And here's the thing. Even further into that, first of all, she's spot on, right?
Yeah.
Another thing was Problem at the time, starting out, nobody don't really know him, right? Before Mollywood. You can imagine how much a nightmare that's for SEO, right? Your name is Problem. It's the most common. A song probably come up on page 36 on Google, right? It was like not a smart thing to do.
Right.
So he had to as he
had to be great.
Yeah, he had to start cracking, start writing more songs, and songs got bigger, start being featured on record. Then his name started showing up in the front. But for a long time, it was a Google nightmare trying to search Problem.
Uphill battle.
So we both have to change your name.
I never made that. I'm telling you, I was today years old when I made that connection of that, because I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, yeah, I meet folks all the time that's this, badass or like I've been around. I have never made that connection till today, but Problem and man.
Yeah, so I ended up. So when I happened with Scarface, I knew that was the change. So here's the thing, I didn't change it quickly. When I got back from that trip, I knew that I need to change the name. What happened was I did a podcast. I had a podcast called what was it called? It was something, the mind of luck something. It was it was my podcast, and I interviewed my partner James Fowler-Roy, right? And we
Shout out to him.
Shout out to James. We were on a podcast together. He was talking about I was talking about my name. I said, yeah, man. We said something about my name. He was like, yeah, man, yeah, you should change it. And I was like, I think he said, no, change it right now. Yeah.
Right now.
He's funny too, though. He's funny. He's hilarious.
Right now. But
he said, no, for real, change it right now. Change it. I said, I ain't gonna change it. I'm changing. I said, I might change to Good Luck. He said, okay, you Good Luck now. That's your name.
I like it though.
And I was like,
yeah,
I need to change it. Now I couldn't change it on Instagram. They wouldn't let me change it. I tried to do the change thing, but I didn't care about that blue check thing. I was trying to change it, and they wouldn't let me change it. But yeah, in other spaces that would be Good Luck, or I just kept tell people to call me Luck. So. But I didn't want the bad luck thing on me because my life had changed, and so much had changed in my life where I didn't want to cast anything dark of myself. I'm a believer in necessarily casting spells. I believe witches do, but I don't. Right, but I also didn't want to put that on myself.
You reap what you sow.
Yeah,
that's still biblical. You know what I mean?
For sure.
So someone has a very specific question. Sonia says, can you please ask him about the hate and jealousy that Kendrick is getting from the OGs and why he thinks that it might be happening?
From the West Coast perspective?
No, just OGs. And I mean, like, I'll paint a more specific picture. I've made video content that kind of saw the Kanye crash out as being kind of related right before the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I saw the Lil Wayne thing where he was like, he made an announcement. He said, I'm not going to be at the Super Bowl, but I got an announcement. And it was him in a lotion commercial announcing. Yeah. Like, just things that are like, you know, I guess to a certain degree, you could even argue with the whole 50 Cent, him kind of siding with Drake and whatever reason you want. Like, what do you, I guess she's asking, how do you kind of.
So I think it's bigger than just hate. Mm-hmm. But you did ask. You asked, which can you say? You asked the right, with the wrong guy? You got the wrong right. So it's that same thing what I'm about to say. So, because I always go here. I'm going to end up going here. Mm-hmm. So, for me, it's bigger than just regular hate. Kendrick is standing on something for our people and our culture. Mm-hmm. That is a threat to anybody who is anti our people and our culture.
Hold on, park it there for a second. That's a bar. Wait a minute. Unpack that, please, sir.
Yeah, so you have someone who's standing on business.
Yeah.
Right? That's why the Super Bowl show, the Super Bowl show went the halftime
Phenomenal
show went the way it did.
Show, by the
right?
way. So, yeah.
Because that is the man who's standing on business.
Mm-hmm. I don't care what stage it is.
Right? He's standing on business. And he's doing it for us. Right?
Yeah.
It's literally for us by us.
Yeah.
With FUBU in real life.
For real, yeah.
Right? It's for us by us in real life. And if that becomes a thing, right?
I can't.
If it ever get back to African medallions and stuff, if it ever get back to that, these people, including some of our people, because our skin folk and kinfolk,
that part,
right? They're gonna have a fit. They do not need nobody like Kendrick. Let me compare it to this, and this is not even a far off comparison.
Yeah.
Marcus Garvey was trying to get us to get out of here, right?
Go back home.
Yeah, my whole life I've been hearing white people say go back to Africa. He tried to do it.
He's like,
he like nigga. Like,
I was trying to do it. That's what I was trying to do.
And y'all stopped me then, right? Because we also, people don't want to talk about this part.
Yeah.
Black people and white people have an awkward, weird, sick, twisted, codependent relationship on each other.
This is so. Thank you for saying that. Please expand on that. Oh, you wait till the last to give us some more. Please cut that. Yeah.
Because we don't want to leave because we feel like we need them. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of us feel like they are superior. Mm-hmm. They're not admitting it. Mm-hmm. They do feel like that. Mm-hmm. And they don't want to let us go because they know who we are. Mm. They need to keep a watch on us so they make sure that we don't ever find out who we are. Mm-hmm. 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 So you got to keep us around. Mm-hmm. They don't need us doing it. When Black Wall Street happened, I hate we hear
there
now.
Ain't no. This is the platform forward for sure.
When Black Wall Street they thought. Kick them out of here, get them out of here, and let them go and see how they survive on their own. Mm-hmm. Black Wall Street happened. They like, oh, nigga, no. Mm-hmm. We don't need all them to know that they can do that. Mm-hmm. Burn that down today.
Yeah. In its entirety.
In its entirety.
I don't want to see
burn that down
down
today.
Yeah.
We don't ever put that in history books. We don't never need them to know that they did that on their own.
Yeah.
Right? We need you to believe that you are inferior.
Yeah.
Right? We need you to believe that. We need you to know that you aren't special. Mm-hmm. You aren't more athletic. You aren't more fast. You aren't more debonair, smooth, rhythmic. We don't need you to believe none of these things. Mm-hmm. We don't need you to believe you're more compassionate, more loving as a people. We don't need you to believe none of these things. Mm-hmm. Right? Because the minute we let y'all hang with yourselves, y'all figure it out.
Mm-hmm. So what's the inverse of that? She says a codependency, right?
It's a codependency. Right. So back to Kendrick. Mm-hmm. So with Kendrick, we understand that if we let this kind of power, because don't confuse yourself, it's power.
It's power, yeah.
Right? That man ain't just a rapper. Y'all breaking him down to the very, very minuscule element of what he is. Mm-hmm. That man is a leader. Mm-hmm. If you let him lead and you let us follow, it's hell.
Yeah.
And not for us.
No, we good.
We good. Right? But
some of us been waiting for the pendulum to swing for a long time.
So to her question, the OGs, a lot of, like I said, all skin folk and kinfolk. Mm. And whether programmed or not like us, mm-hmm. right? They're all on the same coin fighting against us. They're all anti all of this.
Sheesh.
Right? And a cat like Kendrick is a threat to all of it.
Yeah.
Right? Here's the thing. They always talk about Kendrick is a Hebrew Israelite, or he may be, I don't know if he's Christian, or he may be something. That's scary for them too. Don't let him be all that black and everything and be like, you know what, and I'm standing on this. That's scary.
We gotta work again. We gotta think.
So that's what that's about. In my opinion, that's what that's about. It's
that's
not about
the best answer
it's
I
more.
heard
It's not so about hate. It's more so about they are anti everything he stands for.
Yeah, that's the best answer that I've heard this entire time. That's why I'm grateful that you're here because that when you say it like that, it makes a lot of sense because that's chaos to somebody's safe and well protected existence.
Man,
because now I have to hear you speak about how in tune or detached you are from these cultural experiences. And a lot of them, which is crazy, if they just be quiet, we would be under the assumption that the same person we met them in the late 90s or the 2000s, whenever we met them. But they're more vocal than ever. Yeah. And they're talking as if they don't feel that shift happening.
Well, they do. Here's the thing. In the Bible, I remember when I forgot the man that walked up to Jesus that day, and Jesus called out the demon's legion, right? And he called him by name. What's your name? And they had to tell him, Legion. How many are you in there? And there's a bunch of little demons inside that man, right? What happened was it was showing you that demons have to bow down to power, and they have to answer to power. So what happens is, the reason why that man even ran over there like he was going to run up on Jesus and do something, which he wasn't, who could do that, right? They were disturbed. These people are disturbed in their soul about certain things they're seeing. So it ain't like they can't shut up.
Yeah.
They have to say, look, you ever see some ignorant racist dude just start saying nigger and saying all this craziness around? Man, he's disturbed in his soul.
It looks like a demon in that moment. It looks
demonic.
Yeah, it looks very demonic.
He's disturbed. So it's not like you can tell him to calm down and be quiet. He can't.
It's not,
He's disturbed. Yeah. So if you stand for something that's righteous, that's going to move forward a beautiful people, how many people how many demons you are disturbing all around? People can't be quiet. Right? So that's what's actually going on. You're watching people be uncomfortable.
See, and you know what's
it's like this. It's like this. Yeah. You dating a girl as a youngin. Yeah. And you youngin on BS too. You're not like a good youngin. You're a youngin on BS. Right. You're a YN. You go to the girl house, right? And she tell you to come in. Now you're on the couch with her and her father walk in. Yeah. That feeling you have, that's what that is.
Ooh.
Somebody gonna have
that's that feeling.
He sees me.
He sees me.
He sees me.
I'm going to be seen.
Oh, boy.
It's disturbing. Very uncomfortable.
And that's why they glitching out.
Dang
it.
That's why I don't have these arguments with people about Kendrick. Yeah. Right? I know him. Yeah. In real life. I know what he's standing on, and I know what he's standing for. So when I have these people talking to me about low-level surface arguments about, is he better or not? Is the music better or not? We're not even talking about that.
Look, I've developed an opportunity to build with him in those early years, throughout the years when I seen him. It's funny, one of my first dates with my wife, this was like the ultimate. I was like, I'm gonna be able to marry her now. One of the first days we went out to my guy B Fresh had an album release party. I didn't know Kendrick was gonna be there. We was in Anaheim going to an Angels game, and we go to the Angels game, and then I go to the event afterwards, and he pulls up there, and he's like, "What's good with you, Curtis? How you doing?" And she's like, "All these stories I heard, now I have confirmation." And he looks at her and he says, "So you've been doing good for yourself." I said, "Oh man, don't have her thinking that shit. Don't blow her head up about nothing, because for sure I can't hear the end of it." And 7 years later, I haven't heard the end of it. But in the midst of him being embroiled in what's probably one of the, most crucial moments of his career, because I think that the stars were aligned. I think that God had already had this set up to be the lesson that it was. Right? Yeah. It was that time for it. He shot me the DM. He shot me a DM and was just saying, thank you for what you're doing. He was aware of the content, And I had to like double check to make sure that was actually him. I was like, nah, somebody's scamming me or whatever. Sent that, and he says something that still resonates, like still is echoing in my head. And one thing he said was, because I told him, I said, bro, it's the least I can do. I got a platform. I feel like I want to make sure my folks see the bigger picture, because this is not just him versus Drake.
Right.
It's not just that.
For sure.
And he said, you're right. It's spiritual. Didn't explain it. Left it at that.
They got to.
Didn't have to for me, because I was like, I know what I'm feeling is not
He
not
understands
fake.
the job is bigger than him. He understands that. He has a duty.
Yeah.
Right? And he's the perfect guy for the job.
Yeah.
You know, because if one of y'all would have stepped up. But y'all too scared to do it. And you don't have the backing or you don't have and you're not even integral like he is.
Yeah.
Right? So it has to be him. And you understand it has to be him. And he willing to die on that sword. You see what I'm saying? So he for the fact that he says that is letting you know what
the kind of timing he on, right?
Y'all keep talking about Drake or Kendrick, who's the bigger artist and better artist. That man just said it's spiritual.
Yeah. Yeah.
What that telling you is he's not like, we're not on the same thing. We're not even fighting from the same post. We're not fighting for the same things, right? So stop. That's why he don't interview with everybody.
Yeah.
That's why he don't talk to everybody. That's why I do appreciate how you are getting below the surface of what we are actually looking at and what you're hearing.
Conversations, yeah.
Different conversation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And salute to that man. He's doing great.
But and that's a heart on the whole Drake thing. But just to bring a nice bow to the end of this conversation, it was certain things that was happening that reminded me of, remember Tales from the Hood? Remember the movie Tales from the Hood?
Yep.
This ain't the Terror Dome, right? Remember the I always compare it to the scene of the white dude that took over the slave the plantation house, right?
With
And
the
then all the little
You call them nigglets.
Nigglets.
I've never heard that in my life.
when they jumping off the pictures and they attacking, I said, "Ooh, this is what it feels like," and it feels like Drake is the governor, because when I look at, forget all the things that happened during the battle, when I was like, damn, his house is flooding, and he shares this on social media in the midst of all this, his house is flooding, and I said, I wonder if that toilet that he jokingly had play California Love, I wonder if that's the toilet that overflowed. Because if so, I feel like that's spiritual.
Wow.
When I think about,
wow,
I'm pretty sure he's in Australia to get away from everything. This is not all the makings, and I don't think Kendrick needs to be all the mastermind behind this. That man can't eat breakfast in Australia without a drone flying up. At some level, somebody trying to get a message to him. And no matter what he does, I always compare.
This world has been rocked.
This world has been rocked.
And the chickens are coming home to roost.
They come home to roost. I compare it to whenever you see a video of somebody slipping on ice and they trying to regain their balance, they just won't fall.
Right.
It's like everybody watching you do that slipping.
Sure. Yep.
So yeah, the spiritual aspect is something that, man, I when I talked to Daylight, I was like, I'm not tripping. When I talked to you, I was like, I'm not tripping. Like, it's one thing to get excited, but then I've had moments where I got excited and I was like, is that the real deal or is it just a moment? And the more I'm having these conversations, the more I'm seeing people show up today, man. Like, I'm it's not about the numbers, but the fact that I'm still seeing 400, 500 people in here that, are hearing these stories. They care about these stories. They want the details of it. And they stay for even the wisdom that they probably didn't even anticipate coming in here. It shows me a changing of the tide. It shows that I'm not supposed to be the person in here.
No, I told you earlier that it's like you're a man of integrity. And
that's what I'm saying, though. They don't let them folks with integrity. It's always like,
no, but
he's got great potential.
I'm speaking to your room.
Right.
That's the reason why they're here. It ain't because of me. You're integral. Yeah. They knew that you and your integrity would only sit across the couch from another, right? You know what I mean? So they're going to be there. They're going to show up for you because they know that they don't get fluff when they talk to you.
Right.
When they're in your room, they don't get fluff. They're not going to get duped. They're not going to be let down, right? They don't have to agree with everything. My point, a point somebody ain't going to agree with, but they know though it's all integral.
Yeah.
Right. And we can do something with integrity, right? So Hats off to you for that, and
Wait,
shout out to you for always, putting on for just integrity in general, just for standing up for people and giving your unbiased opinion in a lot of areas. And even if something is biased, you're beneath the surface of what's going on. You're not dealing with surface of what's going on.
Yeah.
So I can respect that. I think I know they do too.
And thank you for saying that. That's is supremely encouraging. What I'm getting at is, this is the same conversation I would have had 2 years ago. 2 years ago, 1 year ago, like I still would have had these conversations, and it was never about what was going to do the numbers. Seeing it do the numbers.
Right.
It's one of those things where it's like, okay, God.
Yeah.
I see it now.
Keep going.
I'll stop forcing the square.
Yeah.
through the circle peg.
Keep going, bro. Keep
okay.
going.
And I'm grateful, man, and thank you for your time today, brother. So it was one more question they have for you. Who is there still a dream collab that you have at all when it comes to music?
Dream collab?
This is Afro Butterfly who asked this.
Yeah. Now this is just for me though.
It's just for you.
Yeah. Cube is definitely one of them. Ice Cube is definitely one of them. And maybe like 3K.
3K, man, that would be amazing.
Yeah. But I think with 3K, I would want him to do the majority of something, and I think I want to film it.
That'd be insane. Yeah.
I'm not good at filming, but I would love to film Andre 3000 doing something. No, I'm dead serious.
See, this is what happens when you get around somebody that like they want. You know what I'm saying? Like he has a vision of what he sees as great. I've seen your trajectory in a very small window of like, I'm looking at, like, at first I'm seeing a photo, I'm like, oh, this photo is crispy, and then I'm seeing video and I'm like, what you mean you got a YouTube channel and you got the whole vlog thing set up? Like, no, I think sometimes because of the people we surround ourselves by and because of where we're from, we see the best of the best of the best.
Yeah.
But man, I give you the utmost props.
You can't help but to compare. We all do it.
Yeah, and I'm the same way, right? In the same way that somebody may look at the quality of what I'm doing, I'm like, well, it ain't, the homie over here. He really do this.
Right.
Like, shout out to my guy Stolen Drums, like if in Atlanta. I'm like, he the one that told me about the light and all that, and he'll probably come in here and be like, Curtis, you gotta do better. But nah, man, nonetheless, grateful for your presence here. So, somebody has something here, and I think this is a good place to land for the very, very end of this. Are we getting new music from you, or should we be more so looking forward to this era of videography and photography?
I think here's the thing. Yes, all of it. And music, I can't say honestly how or when, right? But I'm never closed off to music. I still get inspired. I still hear raps where sometimes I want to rap and I want to be involved in something. I'm just trying to figure out my way how, right? And then once I figure out my way how, then I'll do it in a way where it's going to be comfortable for me, and I do want to let people hear it. Yeah. So yeah, for sure, music for sure. Yeah. I'm here. What people don't know is part of my reason for being here is not just to do this cool interview with Curtis, because I'm definitely a fan of his and I love his channel, but also he's been mentoring me as far as this space, as far as going live and doing a podcast and running my YouTube channel, kind of like this. I want to talk to, do videos and report on things and respond to things and talk with dope people about dope, interesting topics. So I'm here also as a student to learn. So you'll be seeing that very, very soon also. Now, let me get you prepared It's not going to look like Curtis Channel.
Knock it off.
Back.
Please
It's
don't
not.
do this. No, look, I ain't cut you off this whole interview. What I'm not finna let happen, you go subscribe right now and you enjoy exactly what you getting because it's top tier quality. That would not be pinned the entire conversation if I was like, hey, yo, look, I don't know if we shouldn't lead with the channel right now. I think we should just like have them follow your Instagram. No, you do, like what you're doing is something that I did a reaction to what you're doing because I looked at it. I'm like, this is such a natural transition for you because you still got to use your pen as you're narrating these stories.
For sure. Thank you, man. I do want to, before I leave, I do want to shout out Holla Ray's Amanda and Johnny Ray.
Okay.
Amanda hit me, text me and said, hey, you supposed to be doing Curtis King's show tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah. How'd you know? I'm like, yeah, how'd you know? Right. So that's going to be dope. Thank you. I'm going to be looking out. And I'm like, oh, man, so shout out to them. Holla Rays, that's my family.
Yeah.
And for anybody in the LA or Pasadena area, go pull up on Holla Rays, man. Tell them Bad Luck sent you. Trust me, they'll treat you right. They'll treat you like family. Mm-hmm. They're incredible. Hands down, the best hot chicken spot, period. So pull up on them. You need that.
So my last question is, where do I get these chicken popsicles or chicken
lollipops? Yeah, somebody got to make them. Just they're not like in the store. Like somebody got to.
It's funny. The whole time you was telling that story about like when you get a business and you got the chicken lollipops and you stopped
listening in after that.
I stopped listening. I did, but I tuned back in when you said, and then somebody complains about them. I said, why would you do that?
Who would complain of such a thing?
What do you mean? Complain? I might complain after I eat. Like, damn, they was going too fast. Like, what are we?
Chicken lollipops, man.
I'm telling you, my mind has a way of hyper obsessing Big Mac Curtis. Leave me alone, Tommy Tenderoni. You mind your business.
That's funny.
Oh man, but man, round of applause one more time, man, for Bad Luck. Good luck, excuse me. Good luck. DIY. Man, where can people find you? And then also too, whatever comes to mind in terms of some words of wisdom for those that are out here that are seeing a shift, especially with artists. I would, more specific. Mm-hmm. Let them know where to find you, but also, what is some advice you would have for an artist that is now at that doorstep of, should I be monetizing what I'm doing?
Okay. You find me at Good Luck TV, GOODLUCC TV. That's my YouTube page. I'll be doing vlogs and different stuff like that, where I'm, trying to post more consistently about my days and my life and different things I'm into. I'm a man of many interests, so just be patient with me and stick around. Trust me, we'll have some fun. And I'm starting doing live soon, so I hope you guys be a part of that. Sit in the chat room and chat with me and chop it up, and I'll be doing super dope interviews and stuff also as I learn it. So yeah, subscribe to the channel. My Instagram page is BADLUCC 354. Mm-hmm. That's my Instagram page. I'm always posting cool things. I'm always posting cool words of encouragement, prayers, scriptures. Yeah, man, just and just dope posts. And just look forward to what I got going on. And I'm excited. I have a new lease on life with photography and also content creating, and I'm in a good space and I'm having fun. So I would love for you all to be on the journey with me. And yeah, man.
Come on.
Now, as far as the artist who's on that verge of like monetization,
there's a lot of artists in here who are like they're late 30s. They're really asking questions about. Some of them may actually be making a pivot outside of music, but they're afraid because it's like, this is who I've always been known as.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're in a place where they're like, is this change that is happening? Could this be something that, maybe I should gear up for? Whatever the case, whatever comes to your heart at this point in time, you just share that with them for sure.
Yeah, I think that, one, be patient. Don't just make a drastic decision, because my decision wasn't drastic. I mean, it may seem like drastic, but it didn't happen in a rush, right? These are thoughts I was having, and as it occurred to me, I needed to shift gears when the feeling came over me where I needed to shift. I made the shift. It was scary. I didn't know what I was doing. I was scared to death, and I stuck with it. And then at the end of the day, I'll be okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm okay. If you're not sure because you're afraid that what that's going to do to your passion, look, man, that's a normal feeling. And I can't tell you which way that's going to go. But the only way you're going to find out how it's going to go, if you keep going, right? The thing is, if you keep going and it starts to not work out how you see it needs to work out, you have another decision to make. And that decision is, do I keep going or do I shift gears and break into something else? That when that moment happened, you'll know exactly what to do as I knew it, as Curtis knew it.
That part.
So, yeah, man, just be patient and keep going. You'll know what to do when you get there. Because if I try to tell you right now, like, yeah, trust me, when you get that feeling, do you do this?
Right.
That's a nigga that's trying to steal something from you.
You're right.
That's a scammer. That's how scammers talk.
And you're gonna meet a lot of. You know what's crazy, man? I don't think of myself as the most harshest critic or the most harshest person to get critiqued from. I still think that somebody one time caught my criticism Sade with a shank. I said that's pretty accurate.
Wow,
that's pretty accurate because it's like Sade, what you doing with a shank?
Right, what are you doing? Like
but that is a
why
shank.
Such beauty with
but that is
this
a
horrific thing.
But that is a shank.
Right.
Maybe I should be concerned.
But that is a shank.
But you should. So I thought it was a perfect analogy, and I'm looking at this and I'm like, there are people who cannot take the criticism. Like we do a music critique series as well. And I'm like, if you think this is bad, wait till you get a hold of this industry that don't give a damn about none of them emotions.
Here's the crazy thing about critiquing things, right? Is that what if they never get a chance to hear it on that end? Then that is bad. See, when you run critiques, which you do or not, sometimes that's something you got to be willing to do, right? Because what you tell somebody may break them forever or make them forever. But that's the choice we make, right? Yeah. And sometimes we don't even know if they'll get past that. If you get past that and you start to go through the gambit of executives, it's gonna be way more harsh. But if you never get there, you just left with me telling you that wasn't it.
Yeah.
You know. So that's a whole nother.
We gonna have another conversation for sure. But yeah, that's a whole nother thing, man. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time from Good Luck.
Thank you, man. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Okay, DIYers. Well, I will leave this interview up. Give me a little second, maybe tomorrow. I'll timestamp it and whatnot. But absolutely, please go on to that pinned message. I left some links in there. I will definitely add that to the description as well. Subscribe. I'm grateful for y'all that were here. Thank you for the moderators for holding it down and getting rid of the weirdos that pop in here every once in a while. It is a blessing. Continue to be great, DIYers. We will be back here tomorrow. I got to move all this equipment right back upstairs again, nonetheless. But yeah, good luck one more time. I thank you and I appreciate you, man. You have a good one.